Content warning. On this podcast, we discuss sensitive issues, including, but not limited to, swearing, tasteless jokes, situations of a sexual nature, and drug use. This podcast is not intended for children. Hey everyone, just wanted to give a special warning on this episode. It does include mentions of rape and incest, so skip it if you need to. Enjoy the episode! Welcome to BiblioWrecks, where we read the worst stories the world has to offer. I'm Bam Bam.
And I'm Bugs, and we are doing the worst.
You've been advertising this specifically to us for like months now.
I read this 6 months ago, and it has been haunting my dreams ever since.
Yeah. And you've been pretty closed-lipped with me.
Yes, I've had to rant for the last 3 days to Jay because I couldn't hold it in.
Yeah.
But I have what do you know going into this? What if I let slip?
I know that the title is Swoondalini, and every time I think about it, I just imagine he's some kind of eccentric Italian pasta maker.
Fantastic.
That's what I think every time. So this is Swoondalini.
Swoondalini by Chris Suddeth. Look at the front of this and tell me what you think any of that means. It's a lady, but you can barely see her.
Right, and then there's a bunch of ripples, maybe an explosion, a D-Day reference. They got the like 5 soldiers pushing a flag or something. Huh.
So I got this book, found it at a
fascism?
Goodwill. No.
Oh, okay.
No. Found this at a Goodwill. Don't read the back of it. You're not allowed yet.
Okay.
We're saving that for the ending.
All right.
But when you look at it, it doesn't say anything.
Right.
It's really vague.
It feels like it means nothing. It's a lot of stuff to just try to grab your attention.
And I looked up the word Swoondalini, and I don't think there's anything that means.
Yeah, that sounds like it's just
It's a
made
nonsense word that he came up with. Swoondalini it's really bad. And as far as trigger warnings go, rape, incest,
Oh boy,
murder, racism.
I wasn't ready for this today.
Golf.
Golf?
Golf. We definitely need a trigger warning for all the golf in this.
Oh boy. All right. I'm interested and afraid.
Yes. So just know that if you've listened to other episodes, this is up there as far as grossness. Not explicit details really around sex or rape, but it's disturbing on purpose. And I couldn't figure out why the way it's written bothered me so much until I got to the end of the book. Yeah. And at the very end, she reveals that she is now in her 50s, looking back on her life and writing it from that perspective. So
It's written in past tense.
It's written in past tense about her own life, but with a very judgmental view.
No, I get that. Yeah, because every time I think back to my previous versions of myself, I'm just like, God, you suck. I hate you.
Yes, that is how this is written. She is in her 40s, 50s, something, looking back at 34-year-old self and going, God, you suck. I hate you. you beautiful bimbo.
I hate you, you beautiful bimbo.
I hate you beautiful, big-titted bimbo. You big-titted whore. Just hate you.
I aspire to hate myself for such reasons.
The first chapter is nonsense. You don't know who anyone is or what's going on. It took multiple read-throughs. So I'm just going to condense the first several chapters and just tell you what's going on because it's just so much nonsense. We are retracing Brandy's life as a 34-year-old woman who lives in Washington, D.C., and she is a high-end escort/prostitute. She is the arm candy for presidents, governors, senators, and businessmen. Her picture graces romance novel covers, and she is a millionaire.
Okay. Not something I can relate to at all, but
Me neither,
good,
honestly.
good for her, I guess.
I mean, she's a businesswoman who sells pictures for romance novels.
Mm-hmm.
She has a high-end clientele where she goes and is at dinners with governors and pretends to be their wife or sleeps around and makes
Sure.
money.
Yeah, I mean, more power
Sounds
to her. Mm.
great, right? Wrong!
Oh, no.
She has nightmares and smokes weed.
Oh, what? Like,
Her life is a wreck because she has nightmares and smokes weed 3 times a day.
oh, how harrowing.
This is the
Okay.
proof that she is a fucked up individual.
Okay, I think the person that wrote this might just be me, because if I smoked weed 3 times a day, I don't have a good time with weed. If I smoked weed 3 times a day, that would absolutely fuck up my day.
The only proof we have that this character has a bad life is the fact that she smokes weed to deal with her nerves
That's so...
and wakes up from a bad nightmare.
I already lived that. Life's pretty good, honestly. It doesn't sound that...
She doesn't rob banks. She doesn't hate herself.
It doesn't self-harm
She
her.
doesn't self-harm. She doesn't do heavy drugs.
She doesn't take it out on other people.
No. She just is a rich millionaire who eats what she wants, drinks what she wants, smokes what she wants, has a size 0 waist, 32 triple D boobs, and is the face of an industry. And she goes around spending what she wants, doing whatever she wants, and she's pretty happy.
Okay, so you know those tech billionaires, you see them in like TV shows, they're like afraid of their own success kind of thing. Is that what this is? Because it sounds like she's doing great.
Reading the book, she's doing great.
Yeah.
The one day that she woke up from this bad dream, she was out town with some governor, and he's in bed and wakes up, and she kicks him out. She gets up. I can do this.
Okay.
I swear to God.
I believe in you.
She kicks out the governor, and she is going to check her emails.
When is this?
2009.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah.
She's, for a moment, thinking about herself. The real reason I still pulled escort duty was that I was hoping to stumble upon true love. Being grounded in reality escaped my existence.
Hold on.
I was also vaguely aware of being in love with Jean, but was insecure about being thought of as only a hot piece of ass. Even in my wonderland of cars and money, the irony that I graced the cover of so many romance novels, yet romance eluded me, was not lost on this weed-addled dime. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I?
So she got into prostitution because she's looking for love?
She's still in it looking for love?
What?
But she...
No, that's the worst place to look for.
But also the whole book makes a point of how she didn't care about her clients.
Right.
She kind of liked them, but she used them to get money because it's her job.
Yeah, it's just a work interaction.
And Jean is her weed dealer.
So
who-
she likes her pot dealer.
She likes him. She teases him and chases off his girlfriends, but won't have sex with him because he's not a client. He's not paying her. And he's just there to be a plaything, but she treats her clients like they're playthings.
Right.
But anyway, none of that really matters.
It's very confusing.
It's very confusing. She goes to check her emails because her day job is being a model for romance novels, and so she has to deal with bookings and clients and whatever. She gets an email. What I opened was my recipe for redemption.
Redemption for your wonderful life.
To redeem her from her evil prostitution.
And
Her
weed smoking.
awful weed smoking. Now, I would really love to skip this email, but I have to read it to you.
Okay.
I have to.
I'm in it.
I apologize, and it's going to take a little while. Wintertime Stew by John Sutton. This is the email. This is a link to a website that she gets, and she reads this. Mm-hmm. This is written by John Sutton. Sutton. Those who know me know that I am very seasonal in my tastes. Corona in the winter is as much a no-no for me as white after Labor Day is for the ladies. College football just wouldn't be the same in the spring, although I'd vote for it year-round, along with a playoff system. With all that in mind, I sometimes ponder an ideal day from my memory and the recipe it involved. Oyster stew and a cold, foggy Fripp Island winter's day is the answer. First rule of thumb is not to eat oysters in months without an R. I can't touch them.
No, hold on.
September, October, November, December.
January.
February, March. Those are the months you're allowed to eat oysters.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I enjoy a clam chowder in the summer. I don't know why that's... Okay.
I can't touch them until it has at least gotten cool enough for my favorite gray sweatshirt. Secondly, support your local seafood. Frogmore, South Carolina oysters are the best. Preparing my oysters is a long, drawn-out ritual. I handle each one to ensure it is shell-free. Wash it and strain it. You can put some ice on them to make sure they don't get warm. Yes, it is time-consuming, but worth it, because the last thing you want to do is crunch down on a hard shell while enjoying the rich, steamy goodness. Not everyone can get on board with it, but I will eat oysters raw. Take a saltine, put a large oyster on top, add a little salt, and glop on my homemade cocktail sauce. I'm still on the fence about releasing that recipe. My mouth is watering right now, just writing about it.
Thinking about snot on a rock?
Snot plus hot sauce. Once you've done all that prep work, you will probably be tired. Double check to make sure your buddies are iced down, bundle up, and prepare for a short golf cart ride to the beach. I find that my inner introvert finds its place during Fripp's winter. I feel the island is at its best when you walk out on the beach and not another soul is in sight. Don't get me wrong, the summertime with sand and sun and girl watching and beer drinking on a folding chair is inspirational. But if push comes to shove, I'll take the toboggan, gloves, and a Maker's Mark splashed with Coke on wheels any day.
Okay. This food blogger is really the reason I hate looking on the internet for recipes.
Yes.
He's doing exactly that thing before he actually gets to the recipes, telling a little story, I hate that. Me
too. But this is the beginning of her journey to salvation. This story that we are reading.
Clam
oyster stew. Yes.
Oyster stew, yeah. Okay.
The winter of 2004 was my first full winter living on Fripp. One day in February, the fog was so thick you could only hear the ocean from the main Rock Beauty golf cart parking lot. The low cloud cover amplified the ocean's voice. I decided to take a walk down to the water to confirm the Atlantic was still there. After a short time, I made my way up to the top floor of an unfinished oceanfront home nearby to get a better feel for Mother Nature's foggy embrace. It was the sound more than anything that I recall about that day. I nursed my makers and knew that had to be the most peaceful day I'd ever experienced on Fripp. Even now, more than 5 years later, it's the gold standard day that comes to my mind when someone asks me to tell them about the winters on that South Carolina low country island. After an hour, I realized my face and fingers were numb, my drink dry, and most important, the oysters were calling. You'll need the following ingredients to complete the oyster stew. Half a stick of butter, ketchup, can of evaporated milk, quart of milk, Texas Pete, salt and pepper. Melt the butter, saute the little jewels. Stay with them so they don't get too done and rubbery. Also, take this opportunity to sample more oysters. Just to make sure. After about 5 minutes or so, pour in the can of evaporated milk and approximately a quart of milk. From here on out, bring the stew up to a heat on low. And the rest of this is like how you cook it. By this point in my gold standard Fripp Island winter's day, there was still some light left. I warmed up with 2 bowls under my belt and wanted to venture out for another golf cart ride before the gray day ended. Though I've been coming to Fripp my entire life and living here since 2003, I never tire of a couple of drinks and a golf cart ride. I turned off the stove and covered up the stew pot. I felt compelled to take a slow ride around Porpoise Road to see the fog, and as much as I could of Fripp Inlet.
I'm so ready for something racist to happen. I'm praying for something racist to happen. I can't stand this.
This is the worst of all food blogs. Nothing happened. God. He rode in his golf cart to the beach, sat there for an hour, rode back and ate his stew. There's still half a page of this.
Oh my God.
I
No, you don't have to.
I will skip the rest.
Okay.
This recipe makes her cry.
What?
I printed this. She's asking herself, had I been there? That was the $1 million question. I wished he had just sent me the recipe sans the story. Why was this silly story making me feel like crying? She prints out the story, stuffs it in her purse, and goes shopping.
Just write down the...
It's oysters, butter, milk, hot sauce, and that's it.
Yeah, if you cook it all in your home, you already have most of that stuff.
If you have this, you don't need this.
Right. Why would you keep it in your... That's so weird.
Because this recipe is what starts her journey to enlightenment.
Okay.
I am not kidding.
Is this oyster recipe going to turn her Christian or something?
Kind of.
Oh, that's so disappointing. I'm pretty sure the Bible says something about you're not allowed to eat oysters anyway.
It's not Christian, it's New Age Enlightenment.
Oh, okay.
Which still has nothing to do with oysters. Too.
Right, okay.
She prints the story out, jams it in her purse with a bundle of cash for shopping, and promptly forgets about the story. I was good at forgetting. I quickly erased the rest of the emails without reading a single one. I held down the delete key and sniffed back a few tears. Which, if she was a successful businesswoman, she would be checking her emails and answering them.
Right.
So I don't think this guy knows how you would run a business like that as a model. You would have to deal with a agent and books and authors, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe it's just a personal email as opposed to a work email? I don't know.
No, because it had stuff from her clients in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be so cavalier about deleting all that stuff. That's weird.
So it's just to show she's a brainless bimbo. She has lucked out and made all this success, but she's brainless and careless and thoughtless.
So she's got all this success, but also stupid, is what the story is. That's weird.
Whereas the work she would actually be doing would take some effort to do, but he wants her to be what normal people would consider successful. And to show that she doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, and that kind of life is like vapid or...
Yeah. And that it doesn't make you really happy. She couldn't possibly be actually happy.
Yeah.
She goes out to her car, finds a joint in the ashtray, and lights up.
Oh, is she gonna smoke weed and drive?
Yes. And remember, this is written by 50-year-old Brandy, not 34-year-old Brandy. Surprisingly, weed made me more cautious behind the wheel. Yes, driving and flying was so much safer than sober driving.
I don't know if I believe you.
I don't think I believe you.
That's so weird. I have heard that rationale before in another book, and it made some amount of sense. Like, I still don't agree with it, but it made sense in that book. I don't feel like that book, or this book, makes all that rationalization for it.
So today, she needs to go Christmas shopping for clients, buy some underwear, and go see a healer lady.
A healer lady?
A healer lady, a spiritual healer lady.
Okay, so we're getting into it.
She gets to one of the places and says, "Time for maintenance toking before shopping for undies," I said while cracking the hard top of my BMW. Maintenance toking was what Jeannie called smoking more while high to make sure you wouldn't come down. Everything and everybody was unnerving me today, and the day was young. I would need plenty of maintenance today.
You know what's really cool about smoking weed? Is
What?
just getting into the minutia of how to just stay a little high all the time. That's the coolest part.
And the thing is, this book goes into agonizing detail about weed.
It's like he's trying to convince you that, yes, I know the weed. I understand how
Which
it works.
I know nothing about weed. I have tried it twice, maybe, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I have not even watched that much television that dealt with weed, but I do know it's supposed to make you hungry. That's what it's known for, is giving you the munchies.
Oh, does this woman never eat?
She has a size 0 waist.
Oh, okay.
She is the size and shape of a Barbie doll. She doesn't diet. She never talks about restricting her food.
Yeah.
She eats whatever she wants. She eats a whole pizza at one point. He has created the most absurd lifestyle ever.
Yeah.
I hate this man. So at one point, she thought she saw this random guy leaning against her car, and she, like, freaked out, and then he disappeared. And then at this other point, she thought she saw him in her car, and she freaks out, and he disappears.
Is she, like, hallucinating now, or?
Yeah, kind of.
The weed is making her hallucinate?
I guess, but
Weed
I don't
doesn't
think
do
weed
that.
does that.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
She goes in to buy underwear at the underwear store, and she's rude to the lady. So then she goes next door to get her hair done, and that lady is asking her annoying personal questions, so she yells at her and leaves. And so she's just being a bitch, kind of, but these people are also being really annoying. So this is him showing how she's just a bitch.
Yeah.
She just goes in and throws stuff at people, and then they harass her, so she goes out. And then the guy shows up in her car again, and she pulls a gun out of her purse and waves it around. And instead, it's a family walking out of their SUV.
Jesus. You know how those weed smokers are out just threatening people with guns?
Right.
They're not just sitting on their couch just thinking about stuff.
So she is like, this is her day of, she's been unnerved by this email, and now she's being all emotional.
Yeah.
Ah.
This doesn't sound like weed. It sounds like coke.
Right.
And with, like, the modeling and stuff like that, that would make more sense anyway.
By the time I made it to the mall, I was back in control of myself. I was amazed by the power of weed. Because it helps with that self-control.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, she goes and she buys the most lavish present of a Rolex was reserved for Jeannie. After all, money equaled love, didn't it?
Okay, so more playing into the vapid materialism thing, yeah.
My Christmas list read as a who's who of politicians, sports stars, movie stars, various other celebrities, millionaires, and even billionaires. President Benton was among the notables. I cut my whore teeth during the Benton years.
Cut my whore teeth. Oh, there's something about that I really like. I don't know what it is.
Benton is supposed to be Clinton.
Oh, okay.
Because he's so creative. Basically, it's saying that she was smoking pot with Clinton in the 90s, and she was just there all the time. And I don't know. I feel I don't run in those circles. I don't know what it's like, but I'm pretty sure this author doesn't either, because none of this reads as real at all.
No.
This reads like a male power fantasy.
Yeah. Boy, that's weird.
It's really weird.
President Benton. I wonder if he, in this universe, still had to ask what the definition of is.
She finally shows up at the spiritual healer's place. Oh, here is a quote about her boobs. Brandy, you've been blessed with tits as taut as an 18-year-old. You don't even need a bra. Her boobs are really important in this book.
I guess.
Really, really important. Her boobs are the most important thing in this book.
I think the reason that your boobs stayed taut like that for longer is because you wear a bra, right? Is that how that works?
There's debate on that, because wearing a bra makes those muscles not have to work.
Yeah.
But at her size, if she wasn't wearing a bra, she would have incredibly bad back pain.
Yeah.
Before the mall shopping, she went and sees the energy healer. Her Uncle Bobby is her dad's twin brother, and he had been telling Brandy to go see this healer he knows in DC. Healer is moving away, so this is her last chance to see her if she's ever going to see her. Guess what ethnicity she is?
Oh, boy.
She's the wise old black woman.
Of course. There's always a wise old black woman.
With a hint of Native American features.
Yeah, we gotta shove in some mysticism in there.
We gotta shove in some mysticism.
Boy.
And her name is Ifateo.
Sorry, what now?
Ifateo.
Ifateo?
Which sounds to me a lot like If I Tell You. Ifateo.
I keep trying to make potato out of that. That's a wild name. Ifateo.
I guess this is before the shopping. I got them out of order, but it doesn't matter. She comes up, Brandy goes up and is like, how do you say your name again? I asked with a slight snide tone. You've only been putting your own journey off, she answered flatly. You may call me Ifateo, and if it wasn't for my respect for your Uncle Bobby, I would have put you off indefinitely.
You may call me Ifateo because that is my name.
I see you've shown up to a sacred spiritual event stoned, she said. She acted as if she were disappointed in me. Was I that obvious? I quickly checked my face to see if I still had my sunglasses, and I did indeed. This woman would emanate smoke. She would breathe out at any point in time and just be a volcano. She smokes so much. Her house, her car, and her clothing would be permeated in the smell of weed.
Yeah, just reeking of weed. Yeah.
So this lady...
It is weird that the spiritualism lady is mad at her for smoking weed.
Yes. Very weird. Despite my personal misgivings, my spirit guides are giving me the green light on you, she said through tight lips, without attempting to hide her disappointment. All of the people who are spiritual guides in this book hate Brandy with a passion.
Because she's having fun in life and doesn't need them, really?
Yeah. They all despise her and torture her.
That's weird.
This one is just mean to her and just talks to her mean. The other ones actually do torture her. Who talks to spirit guides? Who does she think she is talking to me this way? Really, I asked. What else are they telling you? The exact quote that I keep getting is, "This one's going to get her money's worth," she said with a grin of satisfaction. So she gives her money. They do a chakra alignment. She gives her an amethyst stone, and that's it.
Yeah, sounds like a scam.
I paid little attention and claimed to feel nothing after the attunements were done. I kept wondering how this was all supposed to help me with my dreams, but I didn't bother to ask that key question. She said I needed it more than she did, the amethyst stone. I put it on so as not to be rude, but took it right off after peeling out of her driveway. I then lit a joint I found in my ashtray and refocused the rest of the day on me.
All these highly spiritual people hate her, and also her future self, presumably very spiritual, also hates her.
After attunement, enlightenment, whatever, everyone hates this woman. And all she does is has sex with people and gets money because of that. And she hasn't done anything else except be rude to a cashier.
Yeah.
Which is standard American.
Right.
And smoke weed, which is standard, half of Americans? So,
Like, maybe she's kind of an asshole, but I don't think she needs, like, a spiritual enlightenment.
no. And she
Yeah.
has nightmares about a snake-handling church. And
Honestly,
smokes
that
weed.
is nightmarish. I would, yeah.
She goes to a golf club and golfs with a senator.
My nightmare.
She loves golf. She's good at golfing.
Oh
She
my
loves
God.
golfing. Lots of golf in this book. So much golf. I don't understand golf. I've never played it. I don't care about it at all.
I despise golf on a moral level.
At some point, her mom called and said that her grandpa's in the hospital and why won't she ever visit? She's like, "'Cause y'all are crazy, bye mom," and hangs up. And it's like, this is a nothing phone call, but it's just to show that she doesn't like her mom
So
and
I
doesn't
guess,
care about her grandparents.
So I guess her family are like backwoods Christian snake handlers or something
Yeah.
from Tennessee.
South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She has lunch. She flirts with this 80-year-old senator. Nothing else. Nothing much happens. It doesn't matter. She starts to feel nausea.
Because of the oysters.
That was just a recipe.
It gave me nausea.
She feels... Okay. I had to look this up. It's called Kundalini syndrome. And it's this idea that when you have a spiritual experience, you get nauseous and your body gets sick because you're kicking out the bad voodoo or bad ghosts or something out of your soul. And that's what this whole thing is supposed to be that's coming up. She gets nauseous. She goes home. She's like, maybe a shower will help me feel better. She goes into the shower and passes out.
I mean, there are worse places to pass out. I've passed out in the shower before. It was fine.
Right. Because it's not a bath. A bath, you could die. But a shower, at least, if your face isn't in the drain, you're going to be okay.
There was one time I got really drunk as a kid. I got sick. And when I was a kid, the only thing I really thought to do when I got sick was to go and take a hot bath. Mm-hmm. And I went and laid down in the bath and turned on the hot water, and I never plugged the tub. So I passed out for like 30 minutes, and when I woke up, there's just cold water running on my feet.
Oh, no. That's better than drowning.
Yeah.
So she passes out in the shower, and it's like a big shower room. It's like one of those big all-around rooms. Mm-hmm. She opens her new eyes and sees the guy who had been stalking her all day walk through the wall of the shower in there and stand over her prone body.
Oh.
He is her spirit guide.
Huh.
His name is Nigel. He's British, and he's an asshole.
I was hoping it would be like Virgil or something, but I guess that was too much to hope for. I was hoping for like a modern Dante.
This guy is just, he enjoys torturing her the whole time.
Oh, okay.
She's like, oh God, am I dead? And he says, no, you're not dead. He paused and added, yet, with relish.
Oh.
That's good, I suppose. Who the hell are you? The Grim Reaper? No, he's extremely busy, and he is a lot gentler than me. He leered at me, but not in the way I was used to having men leer at me. You'll find out. Oh, get that pout off your pretty face. We'll be fast friends before too long. You'll see.
Ominous.
What do you intend to do with me? Rape me? You've done quite well at raping yourself for a long time now.
Oh my God.
Because going out and being a prostitute, it means you're raping yourself. Because I think it has that same purity culture Christian idea of you do not own your own body. Mm-hmm. And by selling it, you're sinning
selling
against
something that's not yours.
It's
or
not
something.
yours. You're sinning against something.
Old guys not knowing how consent works. Love that.
I make the rules here, Brandy, you pathetic piece of shit. He's just standing there telling her, like, we're going to go on a journey and you're going to hate it, you bitch.
This is a really mean guardian angel.
This is her spirit guide who has achieved enlightenment. Mm-hmm. In order to become a spirit guide, you have to have been a human, reincarnated many times, and become a perfect person.
And hang out with some douchebag that doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know that I would want to be spiritually enlightened. It sounds like it sucks.
Everyone in here who is enlightened are the nastiest, meanest characters I've ever met.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's kind of like the Scientology thing. It makes you feel bad because you're not in the in-group and makes you feel like they know something you don't know. Mm-hmm. And they're so much smarter than you.
Yeah. He's like, you're going to go on a journey. It's going to be like the Marine Corps boot camp. We're going to teach you how to be a spiritual person or whatever. And he said, I don't coddle. No, I wouldn't take you for a coddler. Shut your hole, whore.
Jeez. Fuck's sake, that wasn't necessary.
I have been called a whore countless times, but it never bothered me or cut to the bone the way it did now. I was a whore, but I reasoned that I had so much to show for it.
I mean, we're at some level, we're all whores.
I don't know what is going on.
That's so weird.
What if I was really dead? Then my actions up to now would be all I was remembered for. This was a sobering realization.
You're a supermodel.
She's a supermodel basically.
Yeah.
Who's on all these
living
books.
With the elites.
She's in the elite. She is in the top 1%. She is a millionaire in 2009 after the recession.
Yeah.
She has had sex with the president. I mean, what? She seems happy.
Maybe I get it.
I don't know what is going on. Yeah. Okay, that was all of the setup. That 30 whatever minutes was the setup for what actually the book is about. The book is about putting her through her previous lives and proving to her what a shit piece of shit she is, and how when she was a man, she was a better person.
Oh my God. That's awful. I hate that.
Yeah. Nigel puts her in one of her previous incarnations, which was as a soldier in World War II on Iwo Jima.
Ah, yes. That's when all the best men were.
Yeah, they were. They're better than this piece of shit
Piece of
whore she
whore.
is now. So she's like, okay, we're going on this journey. And he's like, flick, and she's in a different body. I looked down again and realized my beautiful breasts were gone. I felt my crotch as I squeamishly squenched my eyes. I had a package, and a rather large one at that. So this was how the other half lived? She's getting shot at. They're on the beach. They're on the beach, walking through water to the sand, getting shot at. And she's like, oh, what's down there?
I have a penis now. That's crazy.
Because the author is obsessed with junk, with penises and boobs. He is just obsessed. This man never grew up past the age of 12. In fact, the only actual lesson she learned as this soldier was what it feels like to have your balls caught between your pants when you shift the wrong way. And she would be nicer to men's junk from now on and not grab and squeeze.
Isn't that what they pay her to do?
I know! If she actually
They're not making her do it. No. I mean, they are making her do it. They're not being made to let her do it.
They're paying her. If she hurt them, they wouldn't pay her.
Or maybe that's why they're coming to her, is that she hurt.
If she hurt them in a way they didn't want, they wouldn't be paying, yes.
That's so silly.
Yeah.
Going through an entire past life to realize that men's balls are sensitive. You could have just been told that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
such a waste
Nigel,
of past life.
sweeps in to, check in on her, and she's like, oh, this really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks to be a soldier.
And she's, being a smartass or something. And she says, I always needed a lesson in how to hold my tongue, which now seemed very poignant.
Yes, you dirty whore woman, you needed to learn when to talk when men are talking.
But literally, it's Nigel coming in and being like, we're getting ready to go to the next place. And she's like, can you fucking leave me alone? And he's like, watch your mouth. Because anytime she's sassy or talks back or is like, why are you doing this to me? He has to teach her a lesson, and she needs to be more demure. Very demure.
Jeez.
Very good and calm and nice.
So with the cursing, that was weird about the cursing thing. So is this you're putting out an energy? Is it that kind of thing with this spiritualism? Do you put out bad vibes and it makes everything worse in general?
The cursing thing, what I was talking about earlier downstairs. Oh, no. It's
just she's being unwomanly and that's bad?
Well, she wasn't cursing here. And in fact, that was I'm mostly going to skip it, but as a soldier, she is a observer of what he's doing. She can feel all of his sensations, and she's not directing anything he's doing.
She's just passengering.
She's just a passenger.
Okay.
And it allows her to experience the fear of battle. At the end of it, she has a deep-seated hatred of Japanese people because that's how he feels. And a deep love for the Marines because that's what he feels.
Going back and seeing your past life so you can learn a lesson, and the lesson is be more racist.
Because she, as he, talks about how the Japanese smell bad, and that's how you can tell they're coming, is they smell different.
Oh, that's so funny.
And calls them slant-eyed motherfuckers.
Oh, God. Go into your past life to get more racist.
Yeah. And it's
oh, boy.
I don't and the whole end of it, she's leaving. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed the camaraderie of being a Marine and being reliant on my brothers to keep me alive. And that was the lesson she learned. She didn't learn a lesson. Nothing happened here.
Yeah, there was no,
she
team
learned
building
that getting
exercise.
your balls caught in your pants hurts. Mm-hmm. And the Japanese are called a slur. Mm-hmm. And then we're getting pulled out by Nigel and moved to the next place.
Okay.
Insane. So stupid. Mm-hmm. Stupid. I hate this book. I hate this book. Her next drop-off is she is being dropped into herself, her body, when she was 17 3/4.
That's very specific.
It's because she got a job at a strip club with a fake ID, and the manager looked at her boobs and ignored how badly her fake ID was made.
3 months before she was 18.
Yes, like she's 17 and something.
Yeah, okay.
She shows up in her body, and at this version of her, she has some control over herself.
Are 18-year-olds allowed to be strippers? Or is the ID for like 21?
I think it's for 18. I think she's supposed to technically be 18 to be a stripper in South Carolina in 1990.
Yeah, I guess
or
that's
whatever.
possible.
Whenever this was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still don't like it.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
But there's a reason.
Okay.
She has to be just under 18.
Right.
I'm sure you can guess what that is coming up with the trigger warnings.
Oh. I don't want to think about it. Just
go
ahead.
Okay.
I don't want to guess.
She shows back up. So she shows up in her body. She is in front of a mirror in the strip club as a 17-year-old, and she gets a good look at her body. And she's like, damn, I'm so hot. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Can't help getting caught up in yourself, can you? Because Nigel has to come in and be like, you fucking whore.
So wait a minute, she was a stripper in South Carolina, and the only thing she's addicted to in the modern day is weed, and she's not still in that life? She did great.
She did fucking fantastic.
Yeah, she's not hooked on pills and meth.
She's not a cokehead. She's not on meth.
Yeah, good for her. I think she did awesome.
For real. Yes. So he's like, get over yourself. You have a job to do. You haven't explained exactly what that job is yet. Now have you? Are you really so dense? Can you not get past your tits for a minute and see you're fighting for your life?
But it's in the past. She's already done this.
I just got done fighting for my life for 36 days, remember? Wrong, you feckless excuse for a contrail. You just got done surviving for 36 days. Because that was in Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
And also, she survived being a 17-year-old because she's now 34.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make this have stakes.
Yeah.
They're trying to make this, reliving these experiences is important.
Yeah.
For some reason. And so he slaps her and walks out of the room.
Okay.
He slapped her on the ass, not the face.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is different.
So she gets called to the stage. Her name's Brandy Hart. Her given name is Alice. And as the book goes past, as we move from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, we go from being called Brandy to Alice to show that she's becoming her true self and not her stripper person that she created. So she's 17. She's never danced. She goes out there and she accidentally takes off too much because you're not supposed to be completely naked at a strip club. And they finish up the song quickly and get her off stage. Mm-hmm. Mandy is the lady who is like more senior. Like she's probably like in her 30s or something. But she has seniority over all the other girls. She like manages them. And she's trying to teach Brandy the ropes and is like, you need to leave your skivvies on because we have a beer license and you can't be completely naked at the same time. But nobody's going to make a fuss and nobody's going to care. Yeah.
Maybe you should have told her that before she went on stage.
Yeah, her first night. So she goes around and she's doing lap dances, and the real money you make is upselling to lap dances or going to a private room and doing a private dance for somebody.
Yeah.
Because she is the prettiest, biggest boobed person that exists. She makes $500, and that was a record.
That sounds like a really low bar.
Yeah, in
I
a
feel
strip club.
I feel like strippers make way more than that on good nights.
This was 1993.
Yeah, I guess so.
500
Yeah.
was a lot more then. That was the price of like a car. I don't know. I noticed the men and some women gawking in a way they didn't do with the other girls. Because she just is supposed to be this sex goddess. So she's done her dance. She's walked around and shaked her booty at people.
Mm-hmm.
And Mandy is making a deal with some business people, some men.
Oh, she's selling her?
She's selling her.
Yeah.
She's like, how about we go back to y'all's place and do a party?
Mm.
And they agree to 15 grand for the night. They like the look of Brandy because she's very young, but she's supposed to be 18. And Mandy is seasoned and knows these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy tells her, because Brandy is like, we can't leave the premises. Like, we're supposed to do this in the back room. And Mandy's like, if you sneak out, the fire or the exit alarm is never hooked up. We can just sneak out and come back, and Hector will never know. Mm. They go out, they get in the car, they go to the hotel, and on the way, they're giving drinks to Brandy. And they tell her it's Coke, but it's a little bit of Coke with a lot of Jimmy Dean spiked with ecstasy. And Mandy is the one who did the deal, so she's told Brandy she'll get like 5 grand out of it for the night. But Brandy's going into this being like, I'll just need to dance for these guys. All I have to do is chill and hang out and watch them do drugs and dance a little bit.
Right, so she's going into this uninformed.
And this is her first night.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot on the first night.
She's trying to be like, I don't think we should do this. And Mandy grabs her by the nipple and twists it so hard she almost passes out. And is like, you will do this because this is how I make money. Because Mandy is a cokehead. Mm-hmm. And so she pimps out the girls out the back to make her money to do drugs.
Right.
Brandy is not going into this informed or consenting.
Right. So this isn't really her fault.
This isn't her fault. Even young, naive, and intoxicated me knew I was in trouble. Direct
also,
quote.
Can you get a titty twister bad enough that you pass out? I don't know that that's possible.
Well, I mean, it could, it really hurts.
I mean, sure it hurts, but I don't know that you can pass out for
It was intense enough to intimidate her and make her scared and hurt.
Right, okay.
And she's probably topless, too.
Yeah.
This lady is abusing her.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. I don't mean to dwell on the nipples too much. But...
Yeah. So they go in. Mandy goes off to the other side of the suite with one of the guys to have sex with him. And the 3 other men, who are all like 40s or 50s businessmen, are like looking at her, and they pick her up and in like 2 moves strip off her clothes and tie her down on the bed. Quote,
this is just rape.
I'm not even sure my 34-year-old self would have caught it had they practiced this. Like, she was so unaware, like she was hanging out dancing, like going to give a lap dance. Mm-hmm. And in 2 seconds, they had her stripped and on the bed. Like, even as an adult, well-informed prostitute.
Yeah.
Looking back at this event, realized I never had a chance to get away. It was not fucking awesome. It hurt. Those were not breakaway clothes like basketball pants. They ripped the clothes off of her, and they're like, do you have condoms? And she's like, what? And she kicks the guy in the nuts as he's starting to like come at her, and he liked that. So he comes in and he starts having sex with her. Oh God, I winced in pain. That hurts. You're so big. And that turns him on more. And they're filming it.
Okay.
You're hurting me. The E and booze faded quickly as the exquisite pain asserted itself, demanding my full attention. I never dreamed such pain existed. I then realized I didn't remember this nightmare happening to me in Columbia, South Carolina. Nigel was standing in the corner, neutral and dispassionate in expression. I
don't know that this guy understands rape. Because if you're that high, I don't think you would at some point just get into it like you would, like, in this situation, just freeze up, but...
No, she's not into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the language that was being used makes it sound like she's not currently being raped.
Oh, the exquisite pain, you mean? No, she is in intense pain. Exquisite just means felt very deeply.
Okay.
It doesn't mean good.
Yeah.
I mercifully grew delirious from the pain. I heard screaming, but wasn't really sure it was me. Because these 3 guys are taking turns raping her. And they're calling it the train. So Nigel, her spirit guide, is watching in the corner. And he is neutral and dispassionate. And he wants 34-year-old Brandy to experience her rape as a 17-year-old. I felt myself swoon, but I sensed that Nigel prevented it so that I could bear witness to this painful event.
Felt herself swoon?
She started to faint from the pain. She was about to pass out from being raped, and he stopped her from passing out. She's bleeding out now.
Okay.
She is literally bleeding out so bad they have to take her to a hospital. She starts gushing because she is not a virgin, but she has never been dealt with
Well, she's
like
getting
this.
a lot of trauma.
She's getting a lot of physical trauma. And she was not wet. She was not prepped. There was no lube.
Swoon, my definition of swoon is so different from that.
From fainting?
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Like, for me, I hear that, I feel like I read that word a lot in, like, romance, as, like, someone is swooning over someone else.
Oh, well, that's more of a turn of phrase, meaning
okay.
like, oh, they're so hot, but
Okay.
swooning is actually meant to be fainting.
Okay.
And when they say it, it's more hyperbole.
Yeah, I've never heard the word used in that context.
Yeah.
Okay. You learned something new.
I would have begged for someone to end my lamentable life if I was able to find my voice. This is very, very, very clearly.
Yeah.
This is trauma enacted upon her by other people. Nigel is making her experience this because she had forgotten it as an adult.
Right. So he's basically just raping her again.
He's torturing her.
Yeah.
He hates her.
Yeah.
Mandy comes in with a gun, shoots one of the guys, and holds him up for all of their cash.
Boy,
Because
this lady is crazy.
Mandy is insane.
Jesus.
Yes, she comes in after just having sex with that other guy, sees them raping her, and knows that Brandy is not 18. So she says, you're fucking a 17-year-old.
Well-
I'm taking that tape. I'm taking your Rolexes. I'm taking your car. And I'm taking all your cash. And if you tell anyone, I'm going to show everyone this video of you raping this girl.
Jesus.
So she goes in and cleans them out, and that makes it feel planned.
Yeah. Yeah, super does. Boy. Yeah, I don't understand how this has affected, like, the moral sphere of Brandy herself. She was victimized. This isn't, like, her fault.
She feels shock as blood is flowing out of her. Mandy is like, suck it up, walk it off, soldier. Pick up that gold, pick up that money, we're out of here. And on the way, they stop at some doctor that Mandy knows, and they go to D.C. and start the escort service. That is where Brandy got her start in life.
Huh.
So they get away with $55 grand and a brand new M3 convertible. And here's where we learned the lesson of this story. I always wondered how I came to live in D.C. Now I know it was more than just randomly bouncing from city to city. I always heard people could suppress traumatic events, but figured that only happened to other, lesser people. People who weren't as pretty and rich as I. How could I have become so deluded?
I feel like she just adopted some of Mandy's psychosis. What?
If you block that out, it's because of fucking PTSD.
Right.
And she was high on ecstasy.
Right.
And drugged.
And 17 3/4.
And then she had a huge amount of blood loss.
Yeah. And was hanging out with Mandy, which I
Mandy
bet is just a fucking experience.
Basically kidnaps her.
Yeah.
And is like, we're out of here. Throws her in the car and takes her to DC and uses her to start an escort prostitution ring.
That's crazy. I want to know Mandy's story. She seems like a crazy villain.
Crazy woman. So then she says, I promise you we'll get you to the hospital as soon as we get to town. And then Nigel comes closer. The power of denial is an amazing thing.
What is she denying?
She had forgotten this happened. He forces her to experience, and he says, "You're in denial. You're in denial."
Denying what? What is she denying? What?
I don't
That doesn't
know.
make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, this woman was raped as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, used.
She was pimped out against her will. Mm-hmm. That's sex slavery.
And then kidnapped.
And taken away from her home, because this is the town she grew up in.
Right.
And they moved to D.C., hundreds of miles away. And she's just like, I didn't know how I ended up there. And he's like, you forgot on purpose, you bitch.
You stupid bitch.
When I say Nigel hates her,
Jeez.
this is what I mean. You cannot tell me this behavior is love.
No.
Or kindness.
Jeez. Okay, is what is gonna happen gonna be that he is actually like her former lover or something?
Nope, he is just the epitome of enlightenment.
Oh, so he's just
He
just
is supposed to be an enlightened
Hold on,
immortal.
epitome?
Epitome.
Epitome?
Epitome.
Okay. Yeah, I used to do the same thing, so I knew what you were doing. Oh, boy.
So she leaves her 17-year-old body, and they jump to the next insertion event thing. Mm-hmm. I did a quick once-over of my girly parts to make sure that everything was the way it should be, and that I didn't have anything I shouldn't. I breathed a sigh of relief, but quickly returned to reality, or it passed for my reality these days.
How much time is she spending in these flashbacks?
None at all. Because 36 days as the Marine, and 1 night as 17-year-old Brandy.
Right.
But we're supposed to feel like she has adjusted to this existence. They are now moving to C. This one is they're invisible, watching her grandmother do stuff.
What? Is the grandmother her past life? Is that how?
No.
So we're just visiting the past.
We're not creating... We do not follow a pattern with these events, because sometimes she's inhabiting someone else's body.
So he's just looking for events to, like, hurt her.
Yes.
That's all he's doing.
Yes. This one is to show her how screwed up her grandma is, and she's just like her grandma.
Oh, God.
Bitch.
And your grandma was a bitch, too!
Yep. So she falls down somewhere in South Carolina, and she's like kind of opaque, but nobody else can see her. She's just sort of managing her own body. And it's like, you have control over your own body. If you're nude, it's because you want to be. And she's like...
You whore.
You whore.
You want to be naked, don't you, you bitch? This guy's the worst.
I fell straight through the metal roof like I was an apparition. Hell, I was an apparition, and was able to note the inside of the metal and wood particles as I passed through. This was somewhat like out-of-body experiences in my past. I only told my Uncle Bobby about those. His reaction was one of extreme interest, but very little surprise, which strangely discouraged me from speaking more of them. I never wanted to reveal too much, said the nude girl. It's just the author hating her.
Yeah.
All of these comments are just
to make her look like a piece of shit.
Yes! As I thought that last thought, Nigel projected inside my head in a reproving tisk tisk. You realize that some people, how can I put this kindly? Dense is good. Yes, some people less dense than you have used astral projection and near-death experiences as a springboard along their path of bringing body, mind, and soul into sync.
You stupid bitch. He's just being mean to her for no reason. This isn't helpful.
Just being mean.
This is just being mean to a woman for fun. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I can imagine enjoying this read.
Which is why I believe the author hates his main character.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
really
sure sounds
genuinely
like
believe. Nigel shushed me. Pay attention, he said through clenched teeth while stabbing his index finger in my third eye. Third eye?
Ew.
Why in the hell would I call my forehead that? Ooh, I don't know. And then we find out fucking later, that Mandy made all of her prostitutes be well-read. So Brandy read lots of New Age books and knows all about this.
So she's just acting... The character is being made to act stupid, even though later she's written to actually know shit about... That's so fucking annoying.
It's so annoying.
It's
so fucking annoying. And we just mentioned that she has had past out-of-body experiences. Mm-hmm. So she has astral projected before. So it's like... I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Oh, and it's like, but you've read books about this. You're obviously already primed to believe this.
Right. Also, why would never mind. It doesn't matter.
Jenny is her grandma. Jenny is a teenager. Jenny is in this little cabin with her father. And the father is drunk and wanting her to give him more booze. And she said, no, you don't need any more. You need to sleep it off. And he's like, I'm sorry. I know I've been drunk nearly every day since your mama's funeral. I never would have laid a finger on you. Then how did I get this baby in my belly?
Damn it!
Her mother is the result of incest.
I'm sorry for yelling, Jay. Did that come out too loud in the... God damn it.
And we're watching this to prove to Brandy that her grandma is a piece of shit because she invited it.
She invited the... No, that's not... You don't... What? What? How is she inviting it? By getting her dad booze because he's mourning and
so this is one of the most confusing sections of the entire book. Mm-hmm. Jenny, the grandma, says, you've been lusting after me in your heart ever since I became a woman, and you know how you take drunk all the time. How do you know what you've done? She accused. I felt she was just as confused about the identity of the father of her child as the confusion she intended to elicit within my great-grandfather. Pawpaw struggled to remain standing upright as he mulled over what his daughter was implying. He then responded in a surprisingly succinct and caring manner for one so drunk. You look so much like her, and I miss her so bad that I can't help but stare. It's not a damn thing more than that. You're all I got in this world, and I just want to protect you.
Ew.
Protect me from who? Your cousin down the mountain, for one. I've seen the way he looks at you. He's just looking.
What? Bro.
That whole side of the family is batshit crazy.
Are you sure this isn't West Virginia?
No, it's very much mountains of South Carolina.
Jeez. What the fuck? Why? Why is this necessary?
I couldn't take my eyes off my great-grandfather. He is not at all like my grandmother portrayed him. Yeah, he's a drunk, but he has a kind spirit.
He raped his daughter.
He's the victim.
What?
This book is saying the grandfather is the victim of this evil child who's a woman.
What?
With boobs.
What the fuck?
She's evil because she has a vagina.
You stupid inbred bitch. Is that all this is? He keeps going in the past so that he can just continue adding accolades to call her?
Pretty much. Yes, the entire fucking book
is
to show how she is a bad person from bad women, and the men in her life were so much better and nicer than she'd ever deserved, whether they raped their child or not.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So how old was her grandma in this?
A teen. She's a teenager. So Jenny is the grandma. She's pregnant. Mm-hmm. And Jenny isn't positive whether it's her father or her cousin who have impregnated her. Because Billy is the one she's seeing on the side. Oh my God, while also having sex with her father. She pulls out a gun and shoots her dad.
Fine.
And her boyfriend / cousin comes in and is like, I said no killing, and punched her.
See how she victimized him, though? She made him do that. He didn't want to. God damn it. Jesus. Jose Christ. What the fuck?
I like it when you're tough, baby, Granny said,
No.
obviously punch-struck off the taste of her own blood. Granny slowly moves her bare foot up his leg and begins to massage his growing manhood, and they have sex right next to the dead dad on the floor. So, at this point, Brandy
Again,
is like...
obviously Brandy's fault. Obviously. Yep.
Brandy is like, I'm gonna throw up.
Yep.
And Nigel simply grinned his understanding, because he's enjoying her discomfort at watching all this shit going on.
This isn't teaching her anything. This
No.
is just, yeah. Spiritualism is fucked up. Is that what it is? Is this what it is?
If this is how... I never want to be enlightened. I will tell you that.
Who knew Buddhism was so fucked up?
Like, and at some point, he basically says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Your grandma's a...
Oh, it's not this scene with the grandma. It's the next scene with the grandma.
Okay.
Okay. So they're talking about the booze recipe for moonshine that her grandpa had or whatever.
Okay.
And she's like, I always wondered how it's made. Really? Nigel mocked. Can you not come up with a question more intelligent than that? You really just figured, like almost every other attractive woman ever to walk God's green earth, that since your tits are big, you've got a tight ass and have a winning Mentos Freshmaker smile, that you don't have to attempt to be intelligent?
I feel like this guy's jealous. Does he want a tight ass and rockin' bod? What the... Why is he so mad at her for being hot?
They hate this woman for being hot.
Yeah. I feel like it's a they hate us because they ain't us situation. I feel like they're just... This author is just mad because he's not hot. I don't...
They think that because she's hot, she's bad. She's a bad person because she's hot, is what it feels like.
That's a very 12-year-old way to think. It's weird.
We zip through time. I think it's like 2 hours. And Jenny, the grandma, and Billy, her cousin, are at this church. I know a lot about religion because I grew up and I've read a lot about religion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this author does not know anything about religion.
Oh.
He places this church in rural South Carolina, and they handle snakes.
That's not where they handle snakes.
He also gives them a Virgin Mary statue.
Oh, that's
and
not...
gives their reverend
that's
a
Catholic.
collar.
That's Catholic. That's not...
Also, Reverend isn't Catholic.
Right.
But Mother Mary Virgin is Catholic.
Yeah.
Pentecostals would never put a Virgin Mary statue in their church.
So he's just mashing up all the
He's mashing every single religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that pissed me the fuck off because they call him a priest and a reverend. And he has a collar. And he's snake handling. And he's in this little backwater. They do not have a huge amount of Catholics in rural South Carolina as far as I know.
Yeah.
They're either going to be Baptist or Pentecostal.
Right.
So this author...
When someone makes fun of your hyperfixation wrong, it makes you madder than the thing you already hate.
Because I had to look that up. I was like, do Pentecostals put Virgin Marys? No. No. They call that idol worship. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons they hate Catholics.
Right.
But a Catholic wouldn't be a reverend. That would be a Pentecostal or a Baptist maybe, but they call them preachers usually.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because none of it actually matters.
Mm-hmm. It's just a pantomime of some kind of Christianity.
They're going up to the church. She's still arguing with Nigel about whatever. I was not as in command as I would have people believe. Don't get me wrong, I was well aware of what I looked like, but there were the inner demon insecurities that every girl faced regardless of looks. I just wore a prettier disguise to conceal my demons. Was this whole trip showing me that there was more going on with me than just your run-of-the-mill insecurities?
I mean, if you got insecurities, they're your fault in this book, I guess. So. Mm-hmm.
They walk through the walls into the church. because they have these non-body things they're using.
Yep.
I experienced every grain of wood as I passed through the door. That's something I don't believe one ever gets used to.
Yeah, we already did this earlier. What? Does he bring it up every time they pass through a wall?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was joking.
No.
Why?
Because this author is an idiot. This idiot is also an author.
Every time.
Every time. In fact, I didn't even highlight every time they said boob, but it would probably be 200 times in this 300-page book.
Jeez.
But the phrase, that's something I don't believe anyone ever gets used to, no one has ever done that. No one in the history of the earth has ever walked through a wooden door. Mm-hmm. That's not something you can get used to because it never happened.
Right.
Ever. Ever, ever. So her grandmother is nude in the Reverend's office, and he is also nude, the Reverend, and only his collar, and she's attempting to seduce him.
Wait. They're naked first, and then she tries to seduce? Like, once you already got the clothes off, you're already there. You've already committed to that point. What? What?
Why don't we have a drink? I heard my grandmother say, ice calm.
Nakedly?
My grandmother sauntered nude around the Reverend's office, clearly in command. I recognized that same walk in myself, and it made me cold.
Yes, I got my whore walk from my grandma.
Yeah. She opened his large pulpit Bible to reveal that most of its contents were sliced out to make room for a bottle. A drink? Asked the Reverend, clad only in his collar. He was surprised, but pleased she had found his stash.
He doesn't take the collar off?
They also don't have sex.
What? They're just hanging out nude?
I have here some strychnine that we can mix with a little RC Cola.
Sorry,
Jenny
fucking
said
what?
With a wink. Yes, let's drink to us. The Reverend obviously thought it was our family's way of drinking.
What the fuck? That's just poison. Do people get high on strychnine? Is that a thing? What? Hey, you want to get really lit? I've got some fucking arsenic we can put in this shot of vodka. What?
She offers him strychnine. He said, yes, bottoms up, my child. Drinks it. She dumps hers on the desk, and he's like, oh. And he falls over dead. She offered him poison.
They were just gonna kill themselves? Was the plan?
No, he thought she was giving him booze, but she said out loud strychnine.
Yeah. Did he just not know what strychnine? What?
Apparently, I don't know.
He's just like real casual about it. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna do a double suicide. And then she backs out and he's like, oh, that's not cool, and then dies.
Here's the only sentence that might explain any of this.
Okay.
She says, yes, we thought it only right that we replace all that less than potent strychnine from the faith closet with something that has more of a bite. It seems your faith has been strained of late, my granny explained. Apparently they think strychnine is a booze, and the one he had was not boozy enough. Is strychnine a poison, Jay? It is, right?
We'll do some research on that, but that is fucking batshit. Hey there, listeners. Editing Bam with the research here. Other than some people using it during Prohibition to spike their whiskey, I guess, it's more popularly known as a athletic performance enhancer during the late 19th century and 20th century, according to Wikipedia. Needless to say, don't take strychnine for any reason. Just don't do it. It's bad.
Why? I love you, Jenny. Why? She derided. You told my cousin Billy the same thing. Did you really think Billy does anything without checking with me first? Billy likes girls, Reverend. Sodomy is a sin, you know. So apparently Billy seduced the Reverend and had sex with him, which revealed he was gay. And that's why they had to get rid of him and kill him. By poisoning him with a bottle he knew already was poison.
I have to think about this for a minute, but I think we have news on the strychnine field.
It's a pesticide. It's always been a pesticide.
It's a pesticide. Strychnine is a pesticide that kills you.
Okay, that's fucking weird. Okay, so they're... Hold on, I have to get my shit straight now. So they were getting married, the grandma and the cousin.
No.
Okay, so they were just hanging out at church, and
the cousin is taking non-defanged snakes and putting them in the closet to replace the defanged snakes that were in the closet.
Okay.
As a double murder. But she's killing him, too. This author is an idiot.
This is fucking dumb. But also, why the added layer of, also my cousin is gay now?
But you know what the whole point of all this actually is?
To sell BetterHelp.
For our sponsors to bring you these messages. Strychnine and non-defanged snakes. Our sponsors of today.
Ads. Hello, bad book loving friends. Just updating our socials. We're on Blue Sky now at bugs-bibliowrecks.bsky.social. We have a Substack at Bugs and Books, and the profile name is Bugs at BiblioWrecks. And of course, our website, BiblioWrecks.com. Drop us a message and check out the content that Bugs works on. She's really good at the social stuff. And let's get back to that bad book.
Strychnine.
None of this means anything.
Do you know why they're doing all this?
No.
To rob the church of the money hidden in the Virgin Mary statue and run away to another part of the state.
Okay.
They didn't need to kill him. They didn't need to replace serpents. They didn't need to poison him. Mm-hmm. They could have fucking tied him up, stolen the cash, and run away.
Yeah. I've got nothing, so let's just keep going.
Nigel was like, hey, this guy's dying a painful death. Brandy, be inside his body.
What?
I was instantly trapped inside the priest. I felt the pain he was feeling from literally having a hole burned from inside out.
Here, you be punished for some shit your grandma did. This'll teach you a lesson, probably.
Aside from that, I was astonished to feel a familiarity with this priest. Was he another incarnation of mine?
Ew.
Yes, he was one of your incarnations.
Ew, dude, you fucked your grandma. And you fucked your grandma. Bro, what the fuck?
Nigel jerked me out of him moments before death so I could witness his soul, and apparently my soul as well, leave his gravely damaged body. Too close for comfort. And then I did the math, and she would have had to be the soldier on Iwo Jima and this reverend at the same time. Because her grandmother would have been around 40 years older than her. Mm-hmm. She was born in 75.
Right.
Which would have been 1935 when her grandma would have been born.
Right.
So 10 years later, 15 years later, this would have been happening in the 40s.
Right. So at the same time as she's a soldier on Iwo Jima, she's also this priest.
This gay priest.
This gay question? Bye priest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye priest.
Bye priest. I was done. I needed a break. Nigel, please. I can't take it anymore. You've broken me. I'm out of witty remarks now. Please, no more. You will be done when I say you're done. But I am a merciful spirit, and I can see you need a respite. That's why this next little aside will be very informative and truly painless.
Okay.
She is taken back to her incarnation as a Tibetan monk.
It sounds boring.
He's me. That is. He is one of my incarnations. One chapter. Oh, it's so peaceful here. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yep.
Have you noticed that all of her incarnations have been men? Mm-hmm. I think that's really weird.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. He's like, oh, look at all these lives. You did great. But now that you're a woman, you're fucking it up, you idiot,
Yeah.
you inbred bitch.
I know. It's so weird.
That is weird.
Okay. Fucking hate this show. Remember how I said we aren't obeying any rules when it comes to where she goes or what she does, whether she's living her as herself when she's a child or if she's a previous incarnation. This time we break all the rules again. She gets placed into Jean, her weed dealer's apartment, but we are astral projecting and we are outside of time and space. Jean has been stuck there for days and days and days, and Nigel said you can't leave until Brandy's here, and she has learned her lesson.
Why are you punishing Jean?
So
What did Jean do?
He's done nothing
Oh,
except
he sells
he
weed.
sells weed.
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
also
so that
like
makes him
a
a bad
law
person.
student who smells weed. Who
Why
sells
are
weed.
you selling weed, dog?
He should know
You're
better.
gonna be a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I noticed Eugene was busy packing his volcano, which I guess is a bong. It also looked like we had plenty of DVDs. See, you're still not getting it. Condescension dripped from Nigel's lips. You're acting like all of this is my doing. Let me remind you of one universal constant, baby cakes. It's called free will. This entire journey is her fault because she has free will. He has told her it's not ending until he decides it's ending. And she has witnessed other people do shit and other people do shit to her.
Yeah.
But it's all her fault because of free will.
So is he like doing like anything bad that happens to you is your fault?
Yep.
Is that okay? Yeah.
And later in the book, they say you chose to reincarnate in a shitty life.
Why would you choose that? Then why is it your fault? You're doing exactly what you wanted to do. Why are you punishing them for it? Why are you punishing them for using their free will? What the fuck?
Trying to put free will in this book is the stupidest decision this author has made.
Right. That's so weird.
Because it's saying you were a fuck up and you chose to be a fuck up. But she was having a fine life. Nothing about her life at the beginning of this
Right.
book bothered her. Yeah. She was rich, beautiful. She ran in great circles. She got to party all the time. Yeah. She had a perfect body, ate whatever she wanted, smoked all the time. She was bitchy to a cashier and didn't want to talk to her mom and had a nightmare.
Yeah, she's kind of rude.
Kind of rude.
Sure.
Worst thing she did.
Yeah. That's so weird. That's
it's
like
so
even
bizarre.
That's like even weirder morality bashing than like a lot of Christians do.
Yeah, I know, right?
And like blaming them for like being poor because God wouldn't make a good person poor or something.
Mm-hmm. Victim blaming? But
Yeah.
we're going way out of the way.
Yeah, this is somehow worse.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And Nigel is just the entire time condescension.
Yeah.
You whore, shut your mouth. You're a piece of shit. Like the whole time. And I'm like, this makes you look like your religion thing is really bad. It
Yeah.
turns out bad people.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who would want to be part of this system.
No.
Except for maybe like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Like a Hitler figure I could see getting into this or
This
something.
is just so weird. Jeannie is awful annoyed because he's been stuck here for a while. Mm-hmm. And Nigel made him sit there and get stuck there. They start smoking weed, a lot of weed. They put on a DVD. They use a slur about Chinese food, and they start eating that.
Is it about cats?
You want me to say it?
I was just curious.
No.
Okay. I don't care.
Jean is irritable because he's been stuck there. She materialized in the room naked, and he didn't look at her and ogle. So she's like, oh God, what's wrong with me? Why is he not looking at my boobs? And he's like, I've been starving. Nigel left me here to rot until you get here. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, he is astral projecting, but he's hungry.
Yeah.
They're astral projecting, but they get to eat and watch TV and smoke weed now.
Are they ordering food or
They're
are
ordering
they just
food
appearing
and it's
it?
showing up at the front door, but they cannot leave. And this is Nigel giving her a respite.
This is dumb.
Very.
This is stupid.
I noted that I actually cared that we got along. Like, this is her only friend. This is her only friend. And she's like, oh, I actually care that he's annoyed with me. Why did I push away one of the few that cared? And it's like, what are you talking about?
When did you push him away? You were just being flirty and buying weed off of him.
Yeah.
Also,
and
you're
right
not
like,
supposed to date your weed dealer.
So it's more movies, more weed, more food. They watched 20-some hours worth of movies. I observed both of our emotions were more on the surface here. Eugene was the typical male, and therefore not a crier, but he was now, and he was so angry earlier. I suppose it could be attributed to all the weed and alcohol, but it was more than that. I was surprised at feeling a pang of insecurity that he didn't notice me being naked earlier. Ever since I hit puberty, I never failed to turn a straight man's head, even made plenty of gays take a second look.
She's so femininely attractive that she turns gay. That's not how that works at all.
This book is pretty sure you can turn a gay man straight.
That's stupid.
We even have a character rape a gay man and make him aroused and excited with her feminine ways.
That's fucking weird.
And guess what? It's Brandy's mom who did that.
God damn it.
Which I think is where we go after this. Mm-hmm. So then they have finally move. Okay, finally she's like, God. And you know how we were talking about the frickin' every time they go through the wall, we have to point out the wood splinters moving past the apples. Yeah. Every time they smoke weed, we have to go into details about what strain it is, what awards it won, how they smoke it, how much it's in it.
I mean, I think that shit's obnoxious in real life, much less in book form.
Like, they're talking about using a gas mask and fancy apparatus and, like, mouthwash and menthol flavors, and he talks hate at her for smoking weed a lot, but it actually sounds like this guy knows a lot more about weed than he should.
Yeah.
So they start getting aroused at each other. She takes off her clothes. He gets excited. She's wet. They decide to have sex, but remember, they're astral projecting. So it's astral sex, which is better than real sex, said the man who wrote this.
It's like, the sex is always better in my head. This guy's fucking weird.
I heard of astral sex in my studies of New Age material, but never thought much of it. After all, I already cornered the market on sex, didn't I? She's obviously read a lot about New Age stuff if she's read about astral sex. I had to read 5 or 6 or 7 books on astral projection and New Age stuff before I ever got to that.
Yeah.
And that was like an obscure blog on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not common New Age stuff. Finally, there was one large heavenly surge that I could only take to be astral orgasm. I couldn't conceive that it could get more intense than it already had, but it did.
Extra orgasm. Had a double cum.
So they lay there, both excited by how great it was. He calls his penis the thundercock.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Yeah, I get it.
She realizes she wants to go again and starts rubbing. I began to massage his manhood vigorously.
His thundercock, yeah.
His thundercock. He then disappeared before my eyes, leaving me more than wanting, my hand grasping air. Because Nigel's been watching.
Why is he always watching? That's weird.
He was eating popcorn as if watching a movie, and there were a couple of dirty socks tossed to the side of his chair.
Ew! That line violated me.
Her spirit guide as they're getting off on.
No.
Literally.
Why is Okay, he's moralizing all of her quote-unquote deviant behavior, but he's just sitting there voyeuring while jerking it without their consent or knowledge.
He's invisible and can just... And here's the thing that makes me also really pissed off. I was left in a bad way. I couldn't go any further until I got more of what I just tasted.
No, she doesn't fuck Nigel.
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She's left with blue balls.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of the C word, but the only way to describe it was that I got cunt bunted, given a dose of the same medicine I dealt out to Jeannie.
Oh my
and numerous
God.
other men, leaving them wanting more.
Jesus.
She learns how annoying blue balls is and swears to herself not to do that to those poor men again.
No.
Along with the whole, getting your cock and balls twisted in your pants hurts. She's learned her lesson not to give blue balls to guys.
This fucking sucks.
Literally. He says...
The stakes of this book are learning that balls are sensitive and don't give guys blue ball.
Yes.
This is so dumb.
He says, "Tell me, have you learned anything yet?" And she replies, "Blue balls really suck." That is the lesson we learned. Smoking weed, eating Chinese.
So this author is just mad at her because he feels like she's never had to feel someone telling her no to sex.
Because she's so fucking hot, gay men will have sex with her gladly.
Jesus.
He has built up such a bizarre caricature of a woman.
Yeah.
And then we have to tear her down and teach her a lesson. I don't know if this author hates all women, but it feels like it.
Yeah, I feel like he just hates, like, attractive women because of his own insecurity. He feels like they would never give him the time of day or anything. And if he thinks shit like this, I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't want to give him the time of day either.
Yeah, it's really weird how this is paced.
Yeah.
The pacing is really weird in this.
Is like that last 2/3 mostly golf.
Yes, actually, the next several chapters are golf.
I swear to God, I keep doing that when we do this. I keep making guesses as jokes.
And it's as bad as you're guessing, yes. She is deposited into 14-year-olds herself as a 14-year-old. They are going on a trip down to South Carolina to visit her dad's family. Her dad is drunk and high, and they pull off the side of the road, and he makes her use guns to shoot watermelons. And he's freaked out. And she's like, "What's going on?" And then they drive down further all the way to the beach to see Uncle Bobby and Nana.
Okay.
So the grandma, Jenny, and those other people, that was her mom's side. We're here visiting her dad's side, which are all nice people and good people, and mostly men. Nana is good, but is barely in the story at all.
The grandma? Oh, the grandma on the dad's side.
On the dad's
Not the
side.
fucked up one.
No.
Okay. So dad's side, that's another, like, weird gendering thing. Dad's side of the family is all great.
Yes.
Mom's side of the family is
Fucking
all
awful.
kind of fucked up.
Yes.
And inbred. And assholes.
Mom won't let her be around Dad's family because she's a manipulative, evil bitch.
Okay.
Even though that's the nice, good side of the family.
So more evil, women are evil. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She doesn't remember this trip at all. And the quote is, "So I simply forgot about it until Nigel dredged it back up, in living color no less." And it's just trying to say, you forgot about this on purpose. And this 14-year-old trip when she's on summer vacation with her dad.
That just isn't that memorable. It's just...
She purposely chose to forget it. That's what the book says.
That's weird. Okay,
Even though
you're
nothing
gonna forget...
traumatic happens in this section.
Yeah.
Literally the entire time they're there. They go shooting guns first, which she gets knocked down when she's shooting a shotgun or something, and rolls in a fire ant nest, which would hurt, but it's not a trauma.
Yeah. So the book is mad at her for forgetting traumatic things, but is also mad at her for forgetting good things. It's just calling her stupid.
Yes.
That's all it is. It's just mad at her for being dumb.
Now,
And the book just made her okay.
pet theory. Pet theory.
Okay.
Nigel going back and inserting 34-year-old self in her body took away those memories.
Oh.
Which would make so much more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense, actually.
But it's never said in the book. Over and over in the book, it said you chose to forget this because you're stupid. But I choose to believe Nigel screwed up time and screwed up her by going back in time and interfering in her childhood.
Yeah, that sounds better story-wise to me as well.
I know. Kind of like you can't kill your grandfather thing and then you are your grandfather. Like Fry in Futurama.
Except in this, also, her great-granddad is also her granddad.
And her former self is also
Yeah.
the rapist of her great. Who knows? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't
Now, as in Twin Peaks, I felt the unease of my younger self rising up. Apparently, fear and unease could be implanted in the very physical structure of the body. It's also how issues can be transferred from one soul's incarnation to the next if karma isn't done with its lesson, Nigel tossed in. So we're trying to say that
your emotions transfer from past lives and your
Yes.
anxieties and okay.
And I think it has to do with something from being a Marine on Iwo Jima and shooting these guns is like bringing up those memories and skills again.
Huh.
But
Reincarnated shell shock. That's weird.
Yeah, I think that's part of their idea. So she goes around, she shoots these guns, he's drinking more, smoking more. They don't wreck or anything. They go down to the beach. Uncle Bobby is excited to see her. Nanny's excited to see her. Dad needs to see his mom and dad. They eat tomato sandwiches.
Ew.
What? I love tomato
I don't like
sandwiches.
tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, you don't like tomatoes at all. We have to have a dig in at her again.
Yeah, it's been
It's been a
several
couple pages. He was referring to me, but I'm generally so self-absorbed. Because every other page, we have to have something that's insulting to her.
Yeah.
We cannot go a couple of pages without insulting her.
Yeah, even
intelligence.
she's getting in on it. She's like, wow, I used to be such a bitch.
But remember how I said this is 50-year-old her writing about 34-year-old her experiencing her life as a 14-year-old?
So that's a comment up from herself
Yes.
in the future. Gotcha.
Which is why I kept, why is this character writing, why is this narrator speaking
Being
this
so
way?
disparaging.
It's just, and I've had lots of self-hate talk. Everyone has had their brains talk badly to themselves.
Sure.
But I don't feel like that's how it sounds. I just don't. It's so weird. Bobby is like, what happened? Why is your dad acting this way? And she's like, I don't know. And it's like,
I'm
'cause
14.
I'm 14. I
can't
don't
pick
know.
up on these things yet.
I have no idea. And so it's like, okay, you can just hang out with Bobby. You're going to go golfing with Bobby. Dad is going to go fishing. It'll be fine.
Is the uncle gonna molest her?
No.
Okay.
He's the one who sent her to that healer woman.
Okay.
And he's the good guy. Throughout the book, he's
Right.
like, because the men in her life, all these other men are great.
Right.
And they're trying to guide her to a better life or something by
Just a family
woo-woo.
entirely made up of men.
Yeah, pretty much. As her 14-year-old self, she remembers her time with Eugene, and her nipples get hard remembering him.
What? Why would you write that? Why would you write that? That's not okay.
She's 14.
Ew.
It's gross.
Ew.
I had to bite down hard on my fist. Because as a 34-year-old woman remembering astral sex, she is getting turned on. Moving on. Okay.
Ew, bro.
This guy is just obsessed with sex and teenage girls, and it's disgusting. And the amount of times that this girl is described as having men look at her lustfully as a 14-year-old is really upsetting. And it's never pointed out that that's gross. It's shown as a her problem.
Yeah.
And her mom tried to cover her up to stop her from getting raped by people. And the mom is shown as being, like, gross for that. But...
Pick a lane.
Pick a lane. Yes, exactly.
Is the mother an awful bitch, or is she doing something what?
I know. It's insane. Okay.
Just doesn't matter what you do. If you're inbred, you're just a stupid
If you're
bitch.
a girl with boobs, you're fucked in this world. You really are.
God.
Her uncle takes her to go golfing, and she's a natural. And so Bobby is talking about why Brandy is never allowed to go hang out with that side of the family. And it's because Brandy's mom doesn't like Bobby. She's never approved of my professional or personal life. I could see tears welling up in his eyes. Sorry, I just wanted to hang with my niece and miss my brother. I probably won't have any children of my own because I'm a faggot.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. My use of that word was wrong. And it's like these other ones.
You what?
Why would you say this word and say it's wrong? And he does this with the C word, with the N word, with talking about Japanese people.
Jeez.
Over and over, and then with the F word. He says these gross words and then is like, well, I was never, PE or PC. I was never PC, or, oh, I know that word is wrong, but we're going to use it anyway. We're going to fully write out the N word. We're going to call Japanese people squinty-eyed motherfuckers. We're going to use this disgusting language and then either hand wave it away or be like, oh, we shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you getting off? Are you a 12-year-old?
Yeah. This guy just likes saying... He just likes saying slurs and talking about... But he's 12.
He's 12.
He's just 12.
Yes.
He's wrote this entire book to have an excuse to just do 12-year-old boy shit.
Okay, let me see how much I can show you is just them golfing. 20 pages? Is just
20
them,
pages of golf.
is them golfing.
God damn it.
And it's how good she is.
Uh-huh.
And she eventually tells Bobby that she is currently 34 years old in her 14-year-old body.
So she can do that now?
And he believes her because she can play like a professional golfer.
Okay.
And she's able to make cocktail sauce from scratch.
Cocktail sauce? Like for shrimp?
Mm-hmm. She plays golf so well that he's like, yeah, you are a 34-year-old. You can smoke weed with me and drink this beer. Let's party, little teenage cousin or niece.
I don't think he should be around children either. Not because he's gay, but...
No, it's because he's making very bad decisions.
Yeah, with a 14-year-old. That's... Okay.
And
All right.
apparently, Nigel is hanging around, and Bobby can see Nigel. And Bobby talks about how he's this spiritual healer. He's an alternative healer. And he's trying to figure out if Brandy is like one of his clients who also claims to be an adult in a child's body. And Nigel is like, yeah, and he smokes weed with her too.
Ew.
Ew.
This dude's just hanging out with children smoking weed.
Ew.
Is he...
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
And he's the good guy. As I said, he's the one who helps her on her spiritual journey. Uncle Bobby is like the good guy in this story.
So Uncle Bobby smokes pot with children. He's cool.
He's cool.
But when the main
Her
character
smoking weed on her
she's
own.
a fucking deadbeat. And what?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is so fucking biased and stupid.
It's because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I say I think the author hates her
Yeah.
specifically.
You lazy dopehead bitch. Motherfucker.
Millionaire.
Jesus. He does just hate this character. This
does.
is weird.
So we finally find out that Uncle Bobby is a spiritual healer who prays for you, and it takes away the core issues that caused your problems, unlike those stupid therapists that you have to see over and over for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And he can heal you in 5 to 6 sessions, and you'll be perfect afterwards.
I'm pretty sure that's another one on the bingo card is therapy is a scam. Mm-hmm. Or saying therapy is a scam.
And then she's
but
like...
But my magic crystals work.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, well, how are you so rich? And he's like, oh, my clients followed me out from Hollywood, and they've been seeing me for years.
So he's whoring out his spiritual abilities. What's the effective difference here?
Also, if you could heal someone in 6 sessions, they wouldn't come back.
Right.
If you're charging them thousands of dollars a pop, they wouldn't come and follow you across the country.
Yeah, I think someone's lying.
Someone's lying.
Yeah.
And she is like, yeah, but what do you actually do? And he finally admits that he knows how to pray to the source and use his hands. And he's a touch psychic.
Ew, I don't like that.
That's his ability.
He's being a touch psychic with children? That's
Yeah.
not okay.
I know.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Don't do that.
He says, here's the answer of what he does. The art of non-doing is an accurate description.
Motherfucker. What? My greatest power is to not do it.
Mm-hmm. Besides knowing the right questions to ask at the right time, along with an inner knowing of where to place my hands.
Ew.
He's a he's just
He's
a
handsy.
healer. He's just a hands-on healer.
Mm-hmm.
He touches you, prays over you, blows some smoke on your face, and you're better.
Okay.
Step
Sure.
3, profit.
Yeah. Apparently.
So she's very impressed by how much money he makes and how successful he is. Are you shitting me? I was truly impressed, and I wasn't easy to impress. I knew that gobs of movies were shot here because he's saying a lot of his clients are from Hollywood. They came out here, and he got them to shoot their movies here so that they could see him because he's just what
That
they
good.
need.
Yeah.
That good.
Okay.
I was beginning to realize that Nigel was right. I didn't think much past my own tits, and it was apparent that it was a fault of mine, a fault that I would endeavor to repair. Because we haven't had an insult this page yet.
Yeah. Don't forget, I'm a stupid bitch.
Don't forget.
I feel like I've been saying that too much.
But that's what this book says.
I know, I'm pantomiming the book.
Yes.
But just me making fun of it feels like too much.
I know.
I'm beginning to gross myself out a bit.
It's insane. Do you believe me? She spills her guts and says, I'm a 34-year-old in a 14-year-old body, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I believe your soul is an old soul born into a difficult family for one last challenge. And that's just what we're going with here.
Okay.
We're just going with she chose to reincarnate as this person and deal with all of this shit.
And just have a terrible life and be stupid.
He says, I believe you, especially after the way you played golf and how you said things, but you gotta admit, this is pretty out there.
Nah. Nah, dude. This is fine.
They get back to the house, and she goes to take a shower, but Bobby yells at her. I remembered instantly what he was hollering about. I buried bunches of stuff between my 2 ears, but not this daddy issue inspiring event.
Okay.
Her dad passed out on the beach from weed and booze. The tide is coming in and he's about to drown. So Bobby goes down there and has to pick him up and drag him up to the house and shower him off and put him to bed because he's sunburned and high and passing out.
Okay. And that was traumatic?
Apparently. That was the only thing that actually happened. So then that evening, it's just her and Bobby, and they smoke weed and drink together.
Okay.
And then the next day goes, and then it's moving on. And then it's like, okay, what's going on? Ever wonder how your family paid for the house in Dunedin, paid for the property in Thornblade, paid for the cars, paid for your school at Bob Jones? Again, with my thoughtlessness. I never really put much consideration into it. And the reason that they were able to pay for all of this stuff is her mom was a prostitute. This is the big reveal at this point.
Okay.
Her mom slept around.
I feel like that's a misrepresentation. I don't think that prostitutes actually do that well like that. That's weird.
And it's like...
And what a bastard doing that kind of work to provide such a great life for her daughter.
Right. To
What
buy
an
property.
asshole.
And like, and it's really weird. Okay, so her mom is described as being prettier than her. Okay. She's already a model.
Yeah, she's already like tipped the scale as far as this book is concerned.
She's a 10.
Yeah.
You can't go past 10 on the 10 scale, but her mom is an 11.
Okay.
Bobby says, anyway, you know how attractive your mama is. Based on looks alone, she's one of the few women who could make me rethink being queer.
Okay. I mean, it's just stupid.
Long story short, she paid for it with her body. It started with your grandparents pimping her out. And the reason her dad is flipping out is he suspects your mother and grandparents have designs for you too. So the idea is they've been pimping out her mom to make money. They're going to start pimping out her to make more money. But in a small town in South Carolina, I do not see how that is a sustainable business plan.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's just not enough free-flowing cash to, like, live mansion level.
Properties. Yeah.
And take care of your grandparents and yourself and your family and buy all that shit.
And it's not really talked about, but it's kind of insinuated that the grandparents are, like, preachers, snake handling preachers. But it's like... That would make more sense where that's where the money comes from, is that they're screwing around with their congregation or stealing money or even just being prosperity preachers or whatever. She tells Bobby that she's worth millions because she got to adulthood and went to a strip club and became a prostitute. And he says, it doesn't sound as if money bought happiness or peace of mind. Uncle Bobby threw back just as fast. That's a fair assessment. Introspection made my stomach turn. So it's just more, she never thinks about anything. And then we're getting to like the end of all this. I never stopped to think just how important this trip to the Low Country was to a high school sophomore. She had no memory of this trip at all. She couldn't remember as an adult having been to Fripp Island. And that's where all of this is happening.
Yeah. That's so
At
weird.
one point in the book, it says that she has no memory of herself before the age of 25, which would imply brain trauma.
Right.
That would imply severe PTSD or severe drug use. Most people, even who have had trauma and PTSD, remember some stuff.
Yeah.
Some things. When they moved someplace or a decision they made or a job they had. She has apparently blocked all of it out willfully.
Yeah.
Oh, she plays golf with her dad, and she's just as good doing it then. Holy shit was the refrain I heard most of the day. She wants to know from her dad the whole story. You're finally beginning to see past those buoyant boobies of yours. Nigel's voice sibilated to me from nowhere.
Ew. I hate Nigel.
Nigel's a bastard.
Yeah.
She cusses, and her dad says, don't cuss. I was quiet but pleased by the rebuke. I missed the discipline my father instilled in me.
Ew. I hate that more than the...
Like, we have to go back in time and get chastised by our father to be
and
a
it's
good
not
person again.
What the fuck?
I know.
This is weird. I'd say there are some daddy issues, but I don't think it's really daddy's fault.
No. Daddy reveals that he is not her bio father.
Is it the cousin?
No.
Granddad?
No. He wasn't sure if he was ever her father.
Okay.
And then recently, her mother told him that he's not the father. And so he's all torn up and upset about it.
Okay.
And he still loves her. And now she's like, oh, I don't know who my dad is.
Oh,
and she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, she's learning it like for the first time.
Right.
But
this is a memory.
This is a memory, but she
Locked it up. Okay.
blocked it willfully.
Fine.
Who was my real father? What did he look like? What were his strengths and weaknesses? They could explain some of my unique personality traits. Would that be your unmatched narcissism or setting the record for being potentially the youngest, most beautiful Alzheimer patient ever? Nigel projected into my mind.
What the fuck?
He's just nasty.
Yeah, there's no point to any of this.
No, there's no point to any of this except to say you are
You're a
bitch.
stupid
bitch. I spent a lifetime battling between beauty and substance, with substance taking the ass whipping 9 times out of 10.
You just smoke pot, dude. What? You're barely a substance abuser.
She smokes pot.
Yeah.
That's it. She has partied at parties and, like, tried drugs, but she doesn't use them.
Yeah.
She barely drinks. Like, it makes a point of her saying, I really don't drink much.
Yeah.
She drinks at parties with people who she's doing events with.
Like casually.
Casually.
Yeah.
She's not an alcoholic.
Okay.
She's not a drug user.
So fucking weird.
We have to bring up that she didn't go to college, and she's so ashamed because she didn't walk for high school, and she didn't go to college, and she's just a dumb bitch.
Love that for her. But she's also a millionaire.
She's a millionaire.
What the fuck does it matter? She didn't go to college.
She even points out that she might be the richest high school dropout ever.
Jeez.
She leaves her body, and this is where we're doing some time-bending shit at this point.
Okay.
She just played a fantastic game, beat everyone else at golf, and did the best. But after she gets pulled out of her body, I heard Daddy console me on how tough the game of golf is, because she played badly in reality.
Oh, okay. So this...
Wait, so apparently he was now remembering things differently, despite the fact that we just completed an altogether different round than the one he was discussing with the real 14-year-old me. How often were our memories shaped in this manner, remembering one thing when clearly something else just occurred? So did she play a good game? Did she play a bad game? Which one is true? Why are we manipulating memories like this?
Yeah, this is dumb. Like, you didn't have to make her good at golf. It could have been, like, because she had an awkward 14-year-old body. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to make her a professional golfer. Fuck, this is stupid.
He loves golf.
Yeah.
As much as he hates Brandy, he loves golf. And he loves being able to have a character who's good at it, because every other word is about birdies and traps and sticks and wood and things that I don't know anything about and don't care.
Fuck golf.
Fuck golf. Fuck this guy.
Fuck that guy.
Nigel is telling her that she is special because this soul journey is not done for many souls in this day and age.
Oh, well.
It's not done for anyone, but you're special.
Mm-hmm. You're special, you stupid motherfucker. Be appreciative that I'm abusing you.
We now go to her townhouse, to her media room, but we're doing another thing like the weed den with Jean.
Yeah.
And she is going to watch stuff on a TV with a magic remote.
Okay.
Because we need a different way of experiencing alternate realities and histories. Even though I became richer, better read, and traveled more than most my age, I had the female version of little man syndrome.
That's just little man syndrome. That's little man syndrome isn't literally gendered.
It's just you feel
inferior. Yeah.
And insecure about yourself.
Did you not know the word inferior, sir?
Right.
What the...
And it's because she dropped out of college, or she didn't go to college. That's the only reason that she feels this way.
Who the fuck cares? You're a millionaire. Take like a couple of years off and
go back to school. You have millions.
There's
you
no
do
reason
anything
you can't.
want.
Yeah.
You could even have your clients on the weekend.
Sure.
Like, whatever. Okay. Pal is some owl who sits there and tortures her too. The TV is looking at things, and she has a remote, and she gets to witness her birth.
Cool.
And her father asks the doctor, "Can you tell if it's mine?" And the doctor said, "Well, she's not black." And her dad's like, shut up, fucker. And he's like, "That's a joke, son."
I mean, it was a stupid question to ask.
Stupid joke, too. Like, it says 1975. They don't have paternity tests like that. So she's like, oh, my dad always wondered. Oh, dear. So then we're like, hey, let's go look at your conception. And we're going to show you why you're fucked up like this, because you were conceived.
On the Universal TV.
On the Universal TV remote thing.
Watching porn of your mom fucking a rando. Love that.
So we go to some dinner party. Her mama is 17 or 18, and she goes upstairs to hang out with the son of this big fancy family. And he's like, I just want to hang out and be friends. And she's like, no, you don't. Wink, wink. And he's like, I'm gay. And she's like, no, you're not. I'm gonna make you not. So she rapes him.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like you're gay to me. In fact, you feel very straight. You know what happened to the faggots of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh my god.
She literally stands there and says if he doesn't have sex with her, she's gonna rip up her dress and go downstairs and cry rape. She threatens to bring his life to an end if he doesn't have sex with her and impregnate her right now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why does she want that so bad?
Her parents told her to do this or she'll...
Jesus
something.
Christ.
This is what they meant by pimping out, I think. But she is shown to enjoy this, and she is a manipulative, evil woman at 17 for doing this when her parents told her, go do this.
Okay.
And it's...
Was this boy also her?
You know what's really disgusting is this remote thing she's holding in the media room makes it so she feels the feelings of every other person in the room.
Ew.
So she feels his excitement and fear and her mom's euphoria over control and power
Ew.
and raping him. And she then also comes when they come.
No! God damn it!
You keep thinking it can't get worse.
Ew!
You keep getting to the point.
Stop coming with your parents. Stop that. That's a crime. Why? Stop it. Get some help.
So Brandy's like, why are you doing this to me, evil owl?
Why are you doing this to me?
And the owl says, all of what I'm showing you is an exercise in developing your third eye. Not to
Ew.
mention educational.
I mean, you're learning something, but you're not learning anything good.
The nausea
If
you're
this is-
feeling is a touch of Kundalini syndrome.
Ew.
I think if I was watching my parents fuck, I would just throw up and that would be normal.
Yeah.
I think that's the normal reaction to
Right.
watching yourself get conceived.
I think this is just... Why, if this is a part of going into becoming enlightened, why does anyone do it? This isn't attracting anyone to spiritualism. This is driving them away.
So I must come and bring you to the lesson she learns from this.
No one should ever come again.
All coming must end. I sensed Mama's pleasure at having her large prey so easily off balance and on the ropes. It was the same kick of pleasure I enjoyed so many times as I massaged egos, among other things, with one hand and emptied wallets, jewelry boxes, and borrowed flashy car keys with the other hand, all in plain sight.
That is not the same thing.
This author literally equates being a prostitute
To
with raping a gay
your
kid.
Okay, but the equation is that she's raping her clients.
That having sex with them and getting paid for it is the same,
She's doing a crime to them.
and herself, because earlier Nigel said, you're raping yourself, is the same as what her mom is doing. Threatening to ruin this kid's life.
This is fucking gross
It's
and stupid.
insane.
Who thinks like this?
This bastard. The guy who wrote this, who is a bastard.
What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. All right.
Mostly, I wouldn't or couldn't get off with my clients, but this was another
God damn
type of
it.
orgasm altogether.
But you can come with your parents? Fuck! Why do I keep saying it?
It was no fair and no wonder I yearned for that time with Jeannie again. A girl has her needs regardless of her looks. Why was I so slow on the learning curve? Until I viewed manipulation from the outside, I never realized how repulsive it was. So her mom rapes the kid and makes him have sex with her.
Yep.
And then she's like, that wasn't enough. If you don't slam me against the wall and make me hurt, I'm going to go crying down there with jizz falling down my legs. You better have sex with me and like it. So he gets an erection again. An erection was a breathtaking and new experience for me because Brandy is feeling his emotions. She's like, and the author is like, you need to feel what it's like to be blue-balled. You need to feel what it's like to have an erection. And you need to know what it feels like to get your balls squeezed, woman.
Okay, this guy got told one time.
It is way too hot.
This guy got told one time, you don't know what the pain of going through childbirth is like.
Yes.
And he got so goddamn mad about that. He wrote this entire book so that a fictional woman, could know the pain of being a man. I'm guessing at no point was there ever a male character in this book that had to know what a period feels like every month.
Oh no, men never learn anything.
Yeah, shedding the lining of your vagina just because you have one, or shedding the lining of your uterus is what I mean. Yeah,
I love this one sentence, and then we will completely move on.
Yep.
Adam was relieved he wasn't completely gay. Even though, as an adult man, he's still gay. Later, when we meet him at the end of the book, he's still gay.
So he's just like, okay, I'm a little bi.
Here's the stupid thing, too. She gets pregnant with Brandy at this moment in time, which is not how pregnancy works.
Right.
You do not become instantly pregnant.
Yeah.
He claims, though, in the deepest part of a woman's soul, she knows the instant she is with child.
God damn it.
Which is so stupid and not true.
Yeah.
He also seems to think that souls integrate with their fetus bodies at around 4 months of gestation.
I mean, another fucking arbitrary line, sure.
And Brandy did it at the very last moment because she wanted to avoid this life as long as possible.
So she didn't have a choice. Did she choose this or not?
Right. And then the owl is like, you're learning this super fast. You're gonna be super spiritual in no time.
Yay.
I learned quicker than Nigel? What exactly did I learn quicker? Don't let that go to that voluptuous vapid head of yours, Brandy. Nigel's irritated voice popped from everywhere and nowhere.
Can't let her go too long without letting her know that she's a stupid bitch.
Mm-hmm. We go back in time. No, we're watching on the TV. We watch her hang out with her first boyfriend named Ronnie. And this was before I became, for lack of a better word to use, a cunt. Because we don't like using the C word, but we're going to use it in this book as often as we can.
Okay.
Ronnie is a sweet kid. They do acid, they drink, they go to NASCAR, they drink, they go to parties. She comes home and her mom tries to kill her. She comes home from the party smelling like weed and her mom tries to kill her. So her dad steps in and she tries to kill him. So then the cops get called. They put her in the loony bin for 3 days.
The kid?
The mom.
Okay, that's better.
And Nigel says, ever wonder how she got to be this way? And she's like, no.
Got to be. We already went through that.
Right. Your conception was the turning point for her.
Oh my God. You're literally blaming the fetus for being born!
Mm-hmm.
What?
Because we just witnessed her raping somebody and enjoying the power she got over this kid. But we are going to say that you being conceived made her go over the bend, and now she's insane.
Where are we? What is happening?
And this lady is like super religious and just rants and raves like bizarrely religious stuff, but this guy doesn't know religion, so he doesn't do it right. So then we go back to the TV thing and we're skipping forward through time to later. Nigel was right about you. You poor child. You haven't been able to see past your beauty in a long time, have you?
How many times do we gotta say it? We get it, dude.
I actually don't even write down most of the times. I just tried to catch it every chapter, but it's way more.
I wasn't blaming you. I was just,
I know. It's the beginning of the end. Wrong. It's just the end of your life in your hometown. Followed by my downfall into the prostitution of my soul. You said it. I didn't. It's like, that's not prostitution of her soul. It's just prostitution.
It's just literal physical prostitution.
It's just literally prostitution.
You don't have to add a metaphor when it's literally happening.
She goes up to some place. They're smoking and drinking. And then she gets a call on her pager. And it has her dad's number or whatever. So she goes home. And when she gets home, her mom saved up all of her medication and baked it into dinner and put it in sweet tea and fed it to Brandy's dad. And so then her dad died. And when she got home, her mom was going to murder her, but she runs out of the house and her boyfriend's in the truck, so she escapes. And so then the cops get called and her mom gets locked up in a penitentiary for the criminally insane forever.
Okay.
So she goes to stay with her boyfriend's family, and she's just a mess.
Clearly her fault. She's raging with guilt.
Right.
Because this is her fault.
She's
still.
feeling guilt because she should have stopped her mom.
What?
And even Nigel's like, you couldn't have, you were a child. Like, even the owl and Nigel are like, dude, yeah, this isn't your fault. Okay.
Why is it now not her fault?
I know. This was like the one time. It's like, she's like, I should have stopped my mom from hurting my dad. And it's like...
Yeah, why are you not blaming her this time? You blamed her for literally everything
even conceived, being conceived made your mom go around the bend.
Why isn't this her fault too?
So she's like sitting there on Ronnie's bed and she's like, what am I gonna do? And he's like, damn girl, you could make a lot of money at a titty bar.
Boyfriend?
Her boyfriend. He's trying to joke. He's trying to be like, hey, you know, like, there's things to do. We haven't graduated yet, but we got time.
Okay.
You could work at a titty bar. Ha ha ha. She's like, wait, you're right. So she goes to the titty bar. She works and gets raped and hauled to D.C.
He did the thing that I do.
Yes.
He's like, I'll just say the most outrageous thing I can right now as a joke. She's like, no, you're right.
And he's like, what? I was kidding. And she's like, no, it's a great idea. She stole his car, drove to the strip club. We hear that story.
Right.
She had blocked out all of this memory and now realizes she made the decision to become a stripper the day after her dad got killed by her mom. She was not in any kind of mental space to make any of these decisions.
Right. She was just acting on impulse.
She has been a fucking victim of everything.
Right.
We open chapter 16 with the quote, golf is the closest game to the game we call life.
God damn it.
You
Fuck
get
golf.
bad breaks from good shots. You get good breaks from bad shots. But you have to play the ball where it lies.
Okay.
I think we're at the end of all of her travel things.
Okay.
She gets to go visit heaven. Guess what heaven is?
Is it a fucking golf course?
It is.
God damn it!
She gets to play golf with Ike Eisenhower.
Fucking why? Who the fuck wants to hang out with Eisenhower?
And play golf.
Yeah.
And play golf really well because she's good at golf.
Wait, what did Eisenhower do? I can't remember shit Eisenhower did.
She loves history.
Was he like big
We
on...
insert that she loves history and she loved him for some reason.
Was he the one that had like a lot of dealings with the FBI or something? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know and it doesn't even care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And so she's like, well, what's going to happen if I don't mend my ways and stop being a prostitute?
You stay rich.
And they're like, the worst that happens is you'll feel like a failure after your sultry, big-breasted body dies. You'll then feel compelled to go back and do it again. So if you just...
So no stakes.
There's no stakes. If you screw up this life, you just do it again.
Then who the fuck cares?
And then after, if you move on to the next plane, you become Nigel. And you go torture other souls.
Right.
That's what she's
sucks.
going for.
Yeah, I'd just continue fucking it up then.
Yeah, why would you want to go do that?
I'm having a great time. I get to come back again, and if I want to do it like that again, I can just do that.
So she's talking with the owl, I think. I think she's talking with the owl.
Yeah.
I was pretty dense and dulled most of the time, and the rest of the time I spent on golf and patting myself on the back for being an independent woman. Because we have to put a stab in there for stupid feminism.
Yeah.
Stupid
It's
bitches.
stupid feminism's fault that she's so successful. Fuck.
We're all connected, and there is no true independence in the sense you're talking about. Moreover, don't knock golf, girl. It's very important to you and can be very spiritual. How do you know you didn't invent the game of golf in a different lifetime?
Motherfucker, who cares?
Apparently she did. Golf, golf, golf.
So wait a minute.
We're on the golf course.
If you continue in your future lives to just play golf and that's the game you invented, you're just the biggest asshole. Mm-hmm. You invented a game that you could just be good at forever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's so fucking stupid.
And that is shown as the ideal. Her salvation becomes golf.
Why?
I'm not kidding.
Is that...
Literally,
what?
they're like, you should do more golf. And she's like, I should have done more golf. You should have done more golf.
Why? She's
I'm
a
not
millionaire.
kidding.
Why? What is so spiritually enlightening about motherfucking golf?
The author likes golf. That's why.
That's so fucking stupid.
Obviously, he likes it, and that makes it spiritual and good. It is completely arbitrary. I could say playing checkers is spiritual.
Sure.
You know, it has no meaning or reason.
If golf is the highlight of enlightenment, then yeah, sure. Fine, who cares then?
Nigel, how could I have blocked so much out? Even after all I've seen, I can still think of holes in my memory. It was the only defense you possessed in your arsenal, but it could only defend you for so long before it exacted its toll, Nigel explained.
Okay, so you're admitting she had no other choice, but you've been calling her a stupid bitch this entire time. Mm-hmm. Because she was using her one tool.
The one thing she had was
Right.
block out these bad memories.
And you're mad at her about it.
Mm-hmm.
For the whole book.
I always
fucking
hoped,
stupid.
I know, it's so stupid. I always hoped that I might change my sinful ways at some point in my life, preferably 5 minutes before my death. Being a sinner was more fun than being a saint, or so I always forced myself to believe via being destructively adept at denial. This book really is that stupid. I have not, willfully chosen the sections that make no sense.
Right.
I have tried to choose the sections that would make
The strongest point
the
that it's
strongest
trying to make.
point.
Yeah.
Yes. Because so much of this book is golf. Half of this book is
God.
golf. The sentence, though, is she's, trying to, contemplate. She's on this earth. She's on this heavenly golf course or
This
whatever.
guy just doesn't know how to land the plane, does he?
No. This is way too long as well. This book is way too long. I suppose I could have asked if Earth was really a prop too, because I don't know. But that would have just been too much to contemplate. We distracted ourselves from living our lives by trying to figure everything out, which is the opposite of the message up till now.
Yeah, she was already enjoying her life. Yeah, she was already living it. She wasn't
She was living it not distracted.
Right.
That's the whole point.
So what's the right answer?
Not be a woman.
Either... Fuck.
Okay, there's these flowers that are also babies in the heaven golf course. And the only reason she goes and looks at them is so that the author could say, I never felt a matronly instinct in my life. This was mostly due to the fact that I lacked much positive influence from the mother figures in my own life, but I still made the choices and lived the life. I knew that physical damage incurred in the line of duty took my ability to have children.
What?
He thinks having sex makes you unable to have children. Being a prostitute means you're broken and can never have a child. She's never had a disease. She's never had cancer. She has never had anything worse than, like, she got raped and got torn, but that doesn't prevent pregnancy.
Right. That also wasn't her choice.
That also wasn't her choice. She has done nothing more than weed.
Yeah.
She has not had her ovaries or her uterus ripped out.
Right.
This guy thinks being a prostitute means you are barren because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. What the fuck? This is so weirdly stupid.
Weirdly.
Like, this isn't normal stupid. This is... I don't know what this is.
She returns to her body. Finally, it's over. Oh my God, the trip is over. We are now at the end of the book.
Thank God.
I mean, how many pages is that?
How do we wrap it? How do we wrap it up?
I want you to take a wild guess what her salvation is going to be. And I did tell you at the beginning of the book.
God, that was so long ago. Okay.
She printed it out.
What? The recipe? She has to... What?
That recipe, that essay, is her salvation.
What does that mean?
It is referenced 7 times in the next 10 pages.
Okay.
It tells her she needs to go to Fripp Island and buy property from that realtor.
What?
The one who wrote that recipe.
Okay.
This is her salvation.
Why? This doesn't mean anything.
John Sutton, the realtor,
Okay.
is the Mary Sue of the author.
What?
His name
I'm
is
sorry?
John Sutton, and the author's name is Chris Suddeth.
Oh my God.
And he is the Mary Sue because the author and the realtor are both called Mr. Mom and both have daughters with the initials EB.
And that's what's on the back of the book. I get... Yeah, okay. I see why you didn't want... Okay.
She goes home for Thanksgiving to Uncle Bobby.
Okay.
And she says, I'm thinking of a change. I'm going to go buy property on Fripp Island. And he's like, yes, my baby girl is redeemed.
Why?
Hallelujah,
How do you know
Jesus!
this? Amethyst. Hallelujah, amethyst.
Amethyst.
Yeah.
If a Teo for the win.
Why? I don't. This doesn't mean anything.
I-
Her solution to life was to go and marry some fucker with a blog.
She can't marry him. He's already married with a baby, and she doesn't even try to seduce him because she is redeemed.
Okay.
And he is a handsome, 6'2", muscular realtor who's so handsome, but she holds back, baby.
So her salvation is just to buy property off of a guy.
Yes. And become a professional golfer.
Okay.
She has redeemed her life. She goes to Thanksgiving. She wraps up her life in D.C. She takes all of her money with her and uses it to buy property.
Yeah.
And
How is she gonna do that without first doing all that? Okay. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. So I'm glad it didn't turn it into a romance weirdly at the last moment.
I was
so that's,
desperately afraid of that too.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have known
it's
it was a Mary Sue unless he was being called Mr. Mom.
Right.
Because that's in the foreword. We found out the author is called Mr. Mom.
Okay.
So
There's more? I thought we were done.
there's more. I'm really sorry.
God. Okay.
She comes home to Uncle Bobby. He
Yeah.
looks her up and down as like, have you gotten work done?
What?
First comment he makes to her is on her body.
Fucking rude.
He slaps her on the ass twice in the next several days because the gross.
Okay, so it's fine for them. Both him and
Nigel.
Nigel. Both him and Nigel slap her ass, and it's fine for them. Mm-hmm. But, okay, it doesn't matter. It's just because she's a woman, right?
She tries to tell him about falling in the shower, and that's Kundalini syndrome, which is the attunement. You fell in the shower, hit your head, it removed the narcissistic asshole out of your personality, is what he says. She's feeling better. Goddamn realtor's essay about Fripp and oyster stew. It just comes up over and over and over again. She goes to the real estate rental office, and it's very funny. Okay, I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
This part is exactly exactly the same as this part. We repeat the same paragraph twice.
Was it just a typo, or?
It was, except in this one, the realtor who's helping her is a man with a gold chain and a bad attitude. And in this one, it's a woman with a gold chain and a bad attitude. And we keep the woman who was the co-worker of Sutton, the realtor who became Mr. Mom, and we use Brandy to abuse her and be nasty to her. But that's okay, because we're going to improve our behavior next week.
So he thought, I'm going to make this a man. No! This character's going to be an asshole. Mm-hmm. It has to be a woman.
Yes.
God
literally,
damn it.
it's here on paper.
Jesus.
Insane. Like, literally, Brandy throws a wad of $100 bills at this woman and knocks her phone off the hook and takes pleasure in just being nasty to this woman. I think the author had a coworker in mind that he used Brandy to assault. I think this person was based on an actual human.
This is fucking weird, man.
So she meets John Sutton, the Mr. Mom. Mm-hmm. I suppressed a nervous giggle. Wow. John was a 6'2", dark and sexy Mr. Mom.
This is
about
weird.
my age with a definite upstate accent.
This is weird.
The things that might have been or still could be. I pondered aloud. No matter. Brandy's days of homewrecking are over, I whispered to myself. So...
I'm not gonna be a stupid whore anymore.
Guess what Mr. Sutton has been doing instead of being a realtor now that he's a stay-at-home dad?
I guess he's writing novels.
I'm starting to offer some alternative healing sessions.
God damn it!
Her Uncle Bobby is his mentor.
Oh my god. So that's why her uncle was excited about it. This is a cult. I know it's a cult, but it's a cult. Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm wanting to buy property. I haven't been on Fripp Island since I was a teenager. Show me houses. I wanna buy a house. And he's like, she's like, you want me as your neighbor? Because he's like, I can show you the property next door. And she's like, you want me as a neighbor? You sure about that? I might be crazy. And he says, I don't think so. You're ready for a change. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. How could he read me so easily? Sounded like something Uncle Bobby would say to me. She just told him she hasn't been to the island in 15 years, and she wants to buy property here. And he says, you sound like you're ready for a change. Psychic! He saw into her soul.
The lamest cold reading I've ever heard of.
In his own novel, he can't be more intuitive than you're wanting a change.
It's so fucking stupid. Fuck.
She picks out 2 properties to buy, and Angelique, the bitch co-worker that obviously the author knew and hated personally.
Yeah.
Is astonished at the wad of cash thrown at her and the millions dropped on property.
Yeah, she's astonished. She's not just excited to have sold a house.
Right. I just blew their minds. Much less of a mess than other things I normally blew.
What if Lex, you're fucking rich? Good job? I don't...
And I have to say, Mr. Mom is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
He got dropped off with the baby by his wife. His wife dropped him off with the baby.
Okay.
He rides around in the car with the realtor and doesn't have the baby in a car seat.
Oh, God.
He holds her. And then the baby is wet and hungry and he doesn't have a diaper bag. Oh. And he says, I need to take the baby back home so her mother can feed her and change her.
Ew.
He's a fucking awful dad to not have a diaper bag and a bottle.
Jeez.
When he makes a point of the mom had work to do in town.
What the
And
fuck?
he's calling himself Mr. Mom, and he can't be arsed to have a baby car seat or a diaper bag or even feed. And I would never go anywhere without my diaper bag when I had a baby with me.
Right.
He wrote it himself. And then she's like, oh, feeling matronly, can I hold the baby? He's like, yes, haha, so long as we go under 25 miles an hour. And it's like, this was 2009. You could not drive around holding a baby.
Right. That's so
You
weird.
had to have a baby in a car seat.
Yeah.
So because he's a retired realtor, she can't pay him for the houses that he shows her. So instead, she throws him the keys to her car and trades for his truck instead.
Why?
Because this author has a fantasy of a really rich woman coming and trading his janky old truck for a fancy BMW. That's the only reason I could imagine why this was written in there.
That's so stupid. That's just dumb.
Okay, this is I'm very sorry.
Okay.
It's not over.
Are we close?
Brandy and Bobby go to see her mom, and her mom is on pills but is lucid enough.
Okay. And she's locked up in the loony bin
She's
or whatever.
locked up in the loony bin.
Okay.
And she's like, Mama, when I was 14, what happened?
You were
What do you mean?
What? You were there.
Daddy flipped out and was high and on drugs, and what happened?
But you what? You already lived that. Why do you gotta ask?
Your daddy misinterpreted something your granddaddy Billy did, that's all, Mama explained as if she were clearing up illegible writing on a grocery list.
What?
And what was that? Jim thought he made a pass at you. Sure it wasn't more than that, Mama? No. Then she stood up and put her fingers in my face and said, what do you expect with the way you dress? And Brandy tries to kill her because Brandy has the memory returned that her grandfather took her virginity at 14.
I knew it was gonna happen. I called it earlier. Yep.
We're 2 pages from the ending.
So wait, was that the cousin granddad?
Yes.
Or the double granddad?
I think that was Billy, the cousin granddad.
Okay.
Because the other one got murdered.
Okay. Gross. I'm with it now.
But he said that she needed to know what a real man was like. So he took her virginity and she got pregnant and they had to have an abortion. And that's why her dad went insane and tried to teach her guns. And that's the end of the book.
What? It ends there? Fucking what?
No, actually, Bobby says, you know you're going to have to forgive your mom.
No! Fucking no! What?
Oh, she meets her gay bio dad.
Cool.
For no reason.
Sure.
And then she went to college and became a professional golfer and lived happily ever
You went
after
to
because
college
she's
for
now
golf
enlightened.
class.
I think she got a literature degree, and this book is because she wrote this book because she got a literature degree.
What?
I hated every fucking page of this book.
Okay, I understand the 6 months of hype now. This... I don't want to read it.
You can look at the back.
I'm
No?
fine. No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Chris Suddeth was born in Greenville, South Carolina in 1975. He graduated the University of South Carolina in 98 with a minor in English literature. So I don't know what his major was.
Yeah.
He was writing since the age of 12. He has been a practicing Reiki master, an emotional energetic healing specialist since 2010.
Fucking Reiki?
Reiki.
Motherfucker.
You don't even touch people in Reiki. You can do that over the internet.
The stupid Dr. Oz shit.
Mm-hmm. He uses his passion and proficiency with energy work to inform his writing.
God damn it. This is so
He
fucking dumb.
Is insane.
This is the dumbest man I've ever known.
It is so stupid. I have to read you 2 things.
Okay.
One of his reviews for Swoondalini on Amazon. One will be enthralled by the author's knowledge of meditation, out-of-body experience, time travel, history, geography, golf, and golf history, cuisine, and more.
When the fuck did cuisine come up?
The review is this that memorable essay with recipe.
Oh, god damn it.
The review is that long, but that line, knowledgeable of time travel, fucking got me. That was so
It's so
funny.
stupid. Fuck's sake. Last thing. We have to stop this.
Oh, I can't find it.
Well, that's too bad.
Oh, and yes, the last one. The
Damn
last word. He had an interview or an Ask Me Anything on Goodreads.
Oh, no.
Where did you get the idea for your most recent book? An angel in my dining room gave me the spark, and I use and used my energy work to inform almost all my writing. This guy hallucinates angels.
Sure. Well, or he was being metaphorical about some lady he's hitting on while he's Reikiing her.
This was the worst.
Yeah.
This was the worst.
Is this one jail? I don't know that it's quite jail.
Oh.
But it's certainly at least F.
The amount of enjoyment he got out of hurting Brandy makes me hate him deeply.
Yeah. This film, it feels like jail. It's feeling pretty close to jail.
I hate it. I hated this. It was physically painful to read this book.
Yeah.
This one took me weeks to get through the first time. I tried very hard to get through it quickly the second time. Writing this was torture. I hated this book.
Yeah.
Chris Suddeth, if you ever hear this, get some therapy, man.
Or, I don't know, stick a... I don't know, man. I don't have anything.
No, you can't say that to people.
All right, well...
Cut that.
I'll bleep it out.
That's just that one section. Yeah, no. Reiki, bullshit. Get some real therapy. And if you're raising a daughter, fucking get it now.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Jesus.
Can you imagine having a dad with an attitude like that? Horrifying.
That is horrendous.
Yeah, this one was the worst. I'm glad I got a reprieve with Wicked and got to have a good book. Because now I'm back and goddamn was this a doozy. This was an F. This was go to jail. This was get some therapy, man. Did you have any good stuff out of it that you can see? Was there anything good in it?
I think throughout the course of this I became a worse person. So.
It rubbed off.
That's the real power of Reiki.
It'll transform us through time 15 years later. Okay. Please torture your friends with this episode. Don't tell them anything about it. Just say, this is the best thing I've ever heard, and send it to them and wait. And then when they come back with, what the fuck, man, you can laugh and say, oh, I Nigeled you.
Yeah. You just got Nigeled, idiot. That's what you get for having tits. Exclusively do this only to your female friends, of course, obviously. Yeah.
My God. We're on Blue Sky. Give us an email at bibliowrecks
also
@gmail.com. We're on Substack. And if you find something like this, send it to me and I will torture myself for your listening pleasure.
And me.
Bye.
Bye.